We're live. Yo, yo.
The Out There channel.
Please sub and share.
Searching for the truth. UFOs, aliens, greys and ufology. Real images, real stories, real videos, real cases, researched and investigated by professionals in the field and cutting-edge discoveries. Multiple witnesses, abduction accounts brought to you by Team The Out There channel. Good to be back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Action.
Sipping all the hoaxes out there. Wouldn't that be good? Imagine getting rid of all those 99% fake channels out there. They'd have to come to the Out There channel instead of Secureteam. Anyway, what are we doing today? I think it's all working. Looks like it's posted out to all the other channels out there. We're restreaming to 3 other domains other than YouTube, so we got 4 going. Yeah, so another weekend. It comes around so fast, doesn't it? It'll be Christmas before we know it. I was a bit crook this morning with the stomach, so I didn't get anything to eat, so I'll fast until the end of the show, I suppose. Maybe till dinner time, maybe. I feel alright now. I'm taking some pills. I think it was the stomach acid. My sugar levels went low last night. Too much insulin. It's hard to guess it sometimes. So I have to get up and have biscuits, and you feel terrible. You wake up all sort of sweaty and shivery when it goes low. When it goes high, you just want to sleep. Go into a coma. So yeah, let's just post up my website link. Where you can get most links to things, including Discord. And also ways to donate. There's 3 ways you can donate. You can Bitcoins, Super Chats.
Michael King donated £5 through Super Chat. Kicking it off before I head to pick up daughter shortly.
Okay, mate. There's a StreamYard's OBS tips, which adds to the messages here as well. So it gets rid of YouTube basically. And what was else? And there's direct PayPal, which is probably the best one for fees, I guess, if it still works. I haven't had any donations to it strictly, but it looks like Patreon went to it okay with the email address anyway. You can always just get my email address and send it to the email address. I normally associate all PayPal and other e-coin accounts to it. So yeah, it looks like we've finally fixed up that messaging problem. It's working really good. He's getting it better and better again. Let's see, let's pin that one. So we're looking at the telepathy tapes. So this sort of thing doing the hot network at the moment, viral networking. Joe Rogan's had the people on. So yeah, we'll just go over that. Basically, some parents of autistic autism kids, is it autistic or autism? Kids say that the kids can actually jump into their minds and actually read it, which is kind of freaky. I have my doubts about it. There's meant to be some scientists trying to study it, but the promo video, I could see lots of errors in the science of it, where it could be tricks, but like what Yuri Geller pulled on Hal Puthoff and a few of the other people out there. So yeah. I'll also be looking at UFO videos, and Secureteam's got some bullshit out about Saturn. So I'll be going over all that. I've done some basic research on it and got some answers, which other channels don't do, like Secureteam. So we'll just go over all that. Mike, yep, that was instant. Yeah. So yeah, it's all good. Looks like you're the only one on YouTube again, so when you go, it'll probably go to 1 or 0. Yeah, I was talking to a guy yesterday about lifters. He might come on the side chat, and we may have him on voice. Depends on him. I've probably only had like 4 hours sleep at that. So, yeah, I wasn't too well last night. I think my LSH has gone high again, or hormones have gone wrong again, and makes you hot. Makes you very hot, and also when your sugar levels go down as well, it makes you hot. I know it's the way the body copes. Slows down your heart rate if you go low sugars. And then it pumps in adrenaline into the system, and you start sweating like a pig. Feels like you've been on a run. I suppose it's the way it protects itself before it's got no sugar left for the brain to work, or the heart to pump. It's kind of scary, really. Probably need some sort of... They need to cure diabetes. I reckon the money they spend on wars, right? Just even to Ukraine, 120 billion. What could that do to solve diabetes? I know they certainly pay trillions of dollars so far to wars out there. What is it? Middle East was like getting up to $5 trillion, wasn't it? I don't know. The war situation has got a bit crazy at the moment. We still don't know whether we're going to end up going to World War III or not. Ukraine rejected the peace deal that Trump had, remember? But now Trump is trying to negotiate with Russia to cease fire, apparently, because he's still attacking Ukraine. So he's going to try and do that with super incentives. Until they stop firing at each other, how can you start even look at peace? I don't know. But Russia is the aggressor at the moment still, by the sounds of it. But anyway, I hope we don't go to World War III. It's the last thing we need. And of course all the left want war, by the sounds of it. They're all bashing Elon and Trump all the time. Silly people, really. You just see Trump's speech, it was awesome. And yet all the Democrats were sitting there looking like idiots with their little signs. That was hilarious. I'll still be here. We'll only be away for about 20 minutes. Okay, mate. I'll probably do about 3 hours. We'll see how we go. And if I look like I'm going to run out of time, I probably will either decide whether I'll go overtime or leave it for another time, of course. So yeah, anyone out there, just say hi in the side chat. How we going out there anyway? So we've only got 2 and 1 on Rumble. Normally get a few more than that, but I think people show up more at the end of the live stream nowadays than they do at the start. But anyway, 6 is about all we get nowadays. Other shills get plenty, because Here we're just dealing with the truth, and I'll kick it off now, I guess. Let's see, I feel like I've forgotten something. So yeah, as long as I'm alive, I guess, or not too sick, I will keep on doing stuff. And as long as I can afford it as well. It's been quite a rough year, I think, the past year. Every year I think it can't get any worse, but it seems to. What could be next? World War III, of course. Who knows? So I have got some links here from X to do with SpaceX and other funny things, I guess, and also UFOs. So he posted out this. I know he just had a SpaceX explosion, and people were videotaping it and spread it around as debris come around. But I guess it was still a test, and no one was in it, so no one got hurt. And I'd rather them have explosions now of failures, so they can pinpoint where the problems are, right? So we need to perfect ship re-entry at extreme temperatures. I suppose this is where it may have gone wrong before attempting to catch a ship with the tower arms, like on the booster. So at the moment they got these water platforms they can land on, which is like barges, and it's coming down here, I think. Pretty loud, is it? Looks like it's going into the water, eh? But you can't see a platform. Can we see a platform there? I can't really. Now apparently he's got platform between Catalina Island and San Diego Port. And often there is UFO sightings there, which is basically these boosters coming back down to land on the platforms, and then the ship has a little tower on it, but like it's like a barge with a tower. It looks like a cut down cargo ship, and then they bring it into port, put it onto a truck or whatever, ship it off back to the next launch. So it looks like that's the latest test, I guess. It's quite amazing, really. And it's kind of like it took probably 50, 60 years to get there, right? We've been looking at that on sci-fi for a long time with, what is it, Joe 90 and Captain Scarlet and Thunderbirds, mostly Thunderbirds. How closely is the ocean out there monitored before these landings? I guess if it's really choppy, they wouldn't do it. But how would they? I suppose there's a limited field though for re-landing. What would they do? Just keep it orbiting? They can't really, can they? I don't know. What's this one? Oh. That's where it captures it, is it? Yeah. So they'll be doing that next on the water, I guess. Wouldn't that make it more top heavy though? Anyway, carry on. Now I think everyone's posting it around on Reddit. Let's have a look. What garbage we got there lately? Let's see, Secureteam. Oh yeah, I was just checking up on the Secureteam there. Let's just get rid of that. Because Secureteam wasn't posting links as usual where he got the information from, so I'll see if I can find what he found. Plus more, of course. So yeah, we'll talk about him a bit more next actually. We'll get onto the mind control stuff maybe closer to the end of the show. I might just push it. And you can see Secureteam's mentioned here. How do we get it to update though? Let's see. Have a quick look at that one. There's so much garbage that's posted here, and they still keep promoting the same shills, of course. Doesn't matter how much you try and educate people. What I found is if I post a playlist to YouTube on X, right, they don't know how to open it in YouTube directly. They watch it in the embedded player of X, which is not the best way to watch anything. If you click on the YouTube logo on the player, it should open up into its own YouTube location, and then you get all the side chats and all the indexes and the other playlists, so you can actually skip to the other episodes in the playlist. So they always watch the first one, but they don't watch any of the episodes after, I've noticed. So they only get part of the story, right? The dumbest people ever on X. They don't know how to use the system properly. So I end up having to post links to the individual episodes. It's the only way you can get them to get the eyes on it, right? So I think that's probably not the one. They would have posted the most popular is one called UFOs, which is really heavily patrolled and a lot of haters on it, and there's certainly a lot of grifters on it. It's probably one of the worst subs ever. Here we go. Everything gets posted to this one. The only one I can advertise to is UFO, not UFOs. So let's see. See what crap's come out. Nolan crap. Yeah, I don't trust Nolan. And we get so many so many of these gay people in ufology now. Something's going on. I'm surprised I'm not seeing Dr. Greer there. He's there somewhere. Matt Ford, Cohart, all the usual grifters. There must be one on SpaceX here somewhere. People getting sick of hearing about the explosion. I just want to see what... Oh, here we go. That must be it, is it? So it's 2025 and people still can't be bothered to check for rocket starts and before posting. So yeah, this is how Starship come down. Another $1 billion blown up. Have they got a video? Did anyone manage to capture it? Identifying a dot in the sky. Could it be a balloon? Where is it? Can anybody see it? I think there might be something here. There we go. It could be a weather balloon. Because they're using the apps to verify it. Could you identify it? Oh yeah, looks like it's got a payload. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? That's a typical weather balloon with a payload, right? Can we identify it? Yeah. What a load of rubbish people post. So just had a decent camera with telephoto, like a P1000. They could probably zoom in that and have an HD image of it and verify it for themselves. I know there's no... Well, there is information about weather balloon launches, but no apps as far as I know. They call them sonoids. Sonoids, S-O-N-D-E. Because they've got radar reflectors and stuff. Let's see. I thought there might have been a video for SpaceX. How's the audio? I haven't checked it. Hopefully it's all working. Mike, what's going on? Trump's speech was epic. Yeah, I thought so too. Yet CNN is basically rigging the polls. 44% were very happy with Trump's speech, they said, and only 25% thought it was okay. So the other polls took it from okay to very good and just combined the figures, which gave it about 65 all the way up to 70% or 76%, I think it was, on some of the polls. But CNN started using the 44 figure instead of adding the okay to the best stats together, which puts it up to 69 for them. And they compared it to Biden and all that, and Biden was 44 and 51, and Obama was 68. Well, Trump superseded all of them on their stats. So they like to twist things and lie, you see. It's about time people cottoned on and stopped watching fake news. I don't know what's wrong with people watching TV news anymore, because even TV instead is exactly like watching CNN here. And when they put it on, I'm sort of screaming at the TV, that's lies! Stop lying and twisting things, you lying turds. I do find it interesting to look at, but not very good at basic orbiting or getting to the moon. Yeah, haven't really looked deep into SpaceX on that side of things. Capturing the module looks good, but I find it weird that getting to the moon is so difficult these days. Yeah, I guess so. Now you got to remember they've changed the fuel the repacy. They're using like hydrocarbons rather than hydrogen and oxygen now. Okay, Mike's gone. But anyway, we saw what the SpaceX explosion looked like. I don't think there's any videos left here. Maybe they got deleted. I don't know. Let's see. I've gone through a few bits here now. You think it would have been posted lots of times. Okay, Phoenix. Another UFO, is it? Another weather balloon. It's funny how it doesn't fit on the screen there. Some of these, I don't scale it down right for some reason. Still doesn't fit. That's the best we got. Okay. Where's the dot in the sky? Is it a bunch of balloons? Wiggle wogging against the phone again. Why are people using smartphones? Even the latest ones today are still limited to 3 opticals too, but it's better. They're getting better. But they always film it in portrait, which is kind of stupid. That means left and right is lowest res, but if you get up to 4K, it's still quite impressive. It's 4000 by 3000 generally, isn't it? Compared to the old phones. I can see bugs flying around there. I can't see anything else in that one. There's another bug. Of course, it looked like a UFO. It looked like a disc. I can't see anything. I can zoom right in. See, this is where you need a proper camera with 100 times zoom. This is, you're just going to catch all sorts of things like pollen, snowflakes even. You know how you go out sometimes and you get a drip, you feel a drip on you? Sometimes you just get random drips from the sky, right? Even though it's not raining. This shows you there is some sort of mini clouds that form, and then some drips come from it, and then it disperses again. I've seen it in New Zealand. I haven't, so I don't know about other countries, but another one that looks more like New Zealand skies with the clouds. Hey, we got a balloon. Looks like it's wobbling around in the wind there. And could it be a weather balloon? Yes, it could be, because when the sun doesn't light it up, it ends up being dark in colour, and the clouds are being lit up by the sun, so they end up being a background to a dark object, you see. So let's have a quick look. Looks kind of like a weather balloon again, doesn't it? Could be a miler one. It's a bit hard to tell because we can't see the payload. So yeah, a lot of stuff ends up being balloons. I believe 90% of stuff in the sky ends up being balloons. Not all weather balloons, of course, but another phone one. No doubt the third phase of the moon picks them up from here as well. Is that a plane contrail we're seeing there? Looks kind of like a plane contrail. Is that what he's trying to film? Probably a jet in the sky, is it? That's pretty crappy. Is it still playing? Alright, here we go. And that kind of looks like a weird cloud, doesn't it? Could be left over from a contrail. That's where the contrail was, wasn't it? Oh no, there's the contrail. Contrail. Looks like it's just a photograph. It kind of looks like a weird cloud. Of course, it kind of looks like a disc, doesn't it? But you can see it's not symmetrical to be a disc. It's more big this end. We've got compression artifacts there. It kind of looks like a cloud to me. Just shows you, if I don't have my super zoom, we'll never see anything in these videos. Probably got some of these on third phase coming up probably. That's what you call a typical long exposure of a bug flying next to IR lights. You see it's multiple bits from rolling shutter as well. See that there? Where it goes blobby like that, that's rolling shutter. You can see the rolling shutter is vertical here. Even though it's on an angle, you can see it's in segments. So it looks like it was on long shutter and rolling shutter caught up to it and sliced it up a wee bit. Opposed to global shutter, which CCD cameras have. But CMOS will be getting faster and faster at processing. That serial processing, like a flatback scanner, will be so fast. It'll be like a global shutter eventually, but still getting there with the technology. That one's doing the rounds again. Some of my favourite crafts. Of course, this comes from that Michael Schratt guy. Taking some of the eyewitness accounts and sort of rendering art for them. I think a lot of these things where they've seen these craft that looks like trains in the sky with lots of windows, sort of a lot of those ones fit when Starlink were putting up trains in the sky, right? And they had these little short, like 5 or 6 satellites close together. They kind of look like on the camera when you zoom out, it kind of looks like it's got little black windows in between the white bits, or vice versa, depending on how overexposed it is. So yeah, a lot of these ones could be explained away. It's certainly not conventional one, this one, is it? Doesn't look like a cigar-shaped one. It's a very strange shape. It's not a V shape, and it's not a triangle. I'm not sure what this is. Isn't that the one with, what's his name? Something Reed. What was his first name? That was a total hoax. He built a model, claimed that it killed his dog and all that sort of stuff. Is that the two that he likes? What's this one? Looks like a shack. And that's a helicopter. Yeah, it's going to be so under the water. It looks like a art rendering again. So I'm not sure what case that is. Could be one of the Navy ones. What's that one? Another strange thing. That kind of almost looks like man-made technology. That does, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks like it's near Saturn. Could have been like a blob on a screen and someone's turned it into a little graphic. A lot of blobs on the screen end up being camera artifacts or debris passing by or some sort of glitch in the data. That looks like the Bob Lazar sports model. What's this one? Oh, that's that. Someone's drawing that stupid parrot balloon, which is a cockatoo, right? So what they see as a beak, they see as some sort of one-man personal thing. But you can see it looks like a cockatoo, even the way they're drawing it here. And they're drawing the other side as it rotates around. It's still a cockatoo balloon. Personal one ship, like Bobette. Is it Bobette? Is that how you say your name? What's that thing? Cube inside a sphere? Nonsense. We know there's some secret technology of radar decoys that could launch from submarines with helium and have these strange reflectors and sensors inside so they can even track it and connect to satellites. Full streak hull, was it? Oh no. What do we got here? Flying platform. Of course, this is the thing that Tesla was talking about that he wanted to do. He had this idea of flying platforms. He had figured out by accident what anti-gravity was, and he figured out a mixture of materials and high voltages was able to levitate a rod. But he knew he had no way of getting that high voltage in the air without having free energy first. So he left that in the notebook to go back to, and he started researching that last tower that JP Morgan decided to tear down and not let him experiment with it. It had a special glass dome at the top. Was new findings that he found from massive spark from the top of the tower, the Tesla core. As it went through the air, it somehow released a new form of energy from atoms in the gas, which he called radiant energy, which I believe is what is part of what we call dark energy. And then he could convert that energy into regular energy, AC DC. And of course, we may have had that by now. Still might be in his notebooks, his prototypes, and the government's got their hands on it. So this is where this idea that the government have used some of that research to make their own flying platforms by now. So it may possibly be man-made stuff. So I've covered this over the years. And of course we've got human blimps, but this is from that famous movie, Navigator, was it? Yeah, it was quite a good movie. 80s movie, wasn't it? And it kind of looks like one of those helium blimps that they've been working on. There's actually one that's really silver like that too. Right, there's the Phoenix Lights craft that a few people saw, but what was caught on tape was a cover-up with flares and that passed behind the mountain range. But someone from JPA said it was their experiment that got loose, where they got these big, huge helium blimps 5 stories high, which I believe is what Art Bell saw in the desert in Arizona. Not Arizona, Vegas, out on the countryside there. With electric engines, or electric, which look like ion plasma engines, of course, using gas in the air and high voltage. When you got a blimp that big, you probably could carry some decent power generation inside it. It has to be big to be able to lift up lots of weight with helium. And of course, that's it on that one. How do we get... It's got a close button. Oh, there we go. Anyway, I was looking for SpaceX. We got detoured there. But that's good, just to go through that occasionally sometimes. Minimize that again. I don't think Mike's back yet, so he can't be too far away. I've got 3 watching there. Who's out there on YouTube? Say hi. We've got still only 3 on Pilled and 3 on Rumble. Thanks for hitting the like there, guys. That really helps. If you got anything to say or want me to look at, just chat to me on the side. You can join Discord, of course. That's in the website link I posted. I think Pilled allows us to pin comments too now, but I haven't looked into it. I probably could have a quick look. In fact, I meant to stop the preview that's playing. Oh, looks like it's playing the preview, does it? Just pause that, give some CPU back. Okay, how to get pinned comments. I need to zoom in and have a read. Not sure how you do it. It hasn't got any dots there. Oh, it's got a cog. Alright, it's got a pin. Okay. How many comments can we pin? Does it switch it? Yeah, it does switch, is it? So you can't pin more than 1 at the top. So I'll pin the website at the top there. was going to have the title. Oh well, looks like they've got some more features there. Don't think I can do any of those controls here on this global chat I'm using. Okay, so next thing. Okay, let's go full screen on this one. The people that create the crisis complaining Trump hasn't fixed it in the first week. I thought that was pretty funny, because you got all these people complaining that he hasn't fixed the price of eggs in the first month of being in power, or 6 weeks, or whatever it is. People just being stupid. You got to remember the price of eggs, $10 is it now, American? Crazy. Was Biden. Got to remember, fertilizer comes from oil. They make fertilizer from oil, basically. Hydrocarbons and nitrogen. Also, they need diesel for farms. You can't do it with electric tractors, even though there are electric tractors and trucks. They're not really mostly used out there by farms still. Because they're probably expensive and more maintenance, of course. You see these really old tractors that the miners used to use hundreds of years ago, and they can still get them to work. I don't think somehow you'll get a lithium-ion battery to work in 100 years or 200 years. People are just so negative. Got to give people a chance. Talk about left and right working together to make the USA better. They seem to be making the world worse as well with wars. So yeah, this is another thing that's come out, which I thought was very interesting. This man makes you think, so I'll just play this.
Despite what you might be thinking, these two circles are not equal. I repeat, these two circles.
Okay, so I had similar experiments called an episode on optical illusions called Jedi Mind Tricks. And just type in Jedi. It's a really old episode, but it's real worth having a look. And if you do it right, I can get you to see Jesus Christ appear in front of your computer screen. And do card tricks with you. I can predict your card tricks, because I can influence your mind. Here it is here, with Einstein on it. And it was quite popular, and I also got a cutout of one of the bits where the apparition appears in front of you. So this is how your mind can be tricked to see apparitions. So yeah, it's good to study all that side of it, hallucinations. So when you actually do have your own thing, which I looked at that before I had my alien visitation, I knew it wasn't a hallucination because I've gone through all these mind tricks before, and you can check yourself through the list and see if there's anything that happened the next day that verifies what happened in the previous night. So I'll just post a link to that actually. It's quite well worth watching. I'm not... Even Krauss, how's it going? Do you have a room name for Jitsi? Yeah. So this is the guy with the lifters. I'll just give you a link in a minute. Let me just post this up. How long you got? Should be early evening over there at the moment if you're on the east coast, I think. But it is getting late, I guess. Jedi Mind Tricks. If you can do it on a fairly close-up screen, like a laptop screen, it works best. And if you look at the screen, then look away to a plain wall, and you get the effect very good because you can see the apparition follow you around. So yeah. So yeah, we'll just watch. I'll give you a link in a minute. We'll just go through these things first. Little things that are interesting.
Circles are not equal. One is in fact larger than the other.
Okay, so we got two circles. You know the eyes have rods in the eye. I think we have 3 rods, don't we? Per so many nanometers. And the 3 rods make RGB. And red is 1, blue is 1, and what's the other colour? Green. And apparently dogs already got 2 rods in the eye, so they can see blue, yellow. But they can't see red. So if you've got a red toy for a dog and throw it on a green grass, they can't see the red toy on the grass. They might be able to detect it with other sensors, but it will blend in with the grass. They might be able to see a sort of like a grey shape on a grey background, but they won't see it very well. They might be able to detect it by scent. But this guy makes a good point here about the 2 circles, one being smaller than the other, or is it?
What I need you to do is determine which one that is. So, please raise your hand if you believe the blue circle is larger than the red. Alright. Please raise your hand if you believe the red circle is larger than the blue. Alright, very good. Now, before I said anything about these 2 circles, what was your first instinct? Equal, right? Because they look equal. And the reason why they look equal is because, in fact, they are equal. These 2 circles are identical. Yet I got just about every one of you to raise your hand and say that they're not. So what did we learn? That you can be manipulated like that to believe in something that goes against your natural instincts. Just imagine as a child you're taught that the blue circle is larger than the red. If you say it enough times, you convince yourself that's the truth. If you're told the lie enough times, it becomes part of your reality. And if enough people are taught that lie, that the blue circle is larger than the red, well, now it becomes part of the culture. And if that culture then passes that misinformation along to the next generation.
And that's very true, isn't it? And we see that now with propaganda on TV news about the war, especially. Where it's Russia invaded, Russia did this. And oddly enough, if you look into the Russia-Ukraine thing, Russia was actually defending itself. And they didn't invade. Turns out that Ukraine had like... CIA was funding neo-Nazis on the border of Ukraine, and they were always fighting the territory next door. So eventually Russia got fed up, especially when Ukraine were trying to hint at joining NATO. A lot of people don't know the true story of how the war started, but it's on X and people are ignoring it or not watching the videos. So yeah, it's mind control stuff. So yeah, people putting up this here where CIA found that they could control, if they control mainstream media news, that they can brainwash people. And if you tell the lie so many times, people start believing it. And you'd be surprised how many people are so gullible. You know, the best thing I ever did is stop watching TV news, but I have to suffer it sometimes because Dad watches it. And for years I've been trying to educate him to get the news from various people online and compare it to what he's hearing on TV. If he was one that believed that Russia invaded until he saw all the other information. And he didn't believe it at first, but eventually he's come round to thinking, oh yeah, this actually makes total sense now. So yeah, people can be unbrainwashed, but it takes time. Of course, I'm called an idiot and all that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, I'm the more awake person in the world, and I've always been right on my predictions. Like I said, Trump would do a landslide win first time, And he did. All the polls were wrong. And I said he'll win the second time, which it looked like he was, but it was called the false red wave. And of course then all the voting ballot polls started coming in and changing it from his direction the other way, which was highly suspicious. And of course we still might find out what happened there, but we know the CIA and FBI were definitely corrupted and working with Biden administration, and they didn't like Trump, and so they wanted to get rid of Trump. But now I said, well, Trump's definitely going to win it next time, and all the polls are wrong, and yep, he did. But if he lost it, I would have been very highly suspicious. But I think there was too many people awake, finally. Enough people awake to actually get a proper result. A fair result. Anyway. Yeah, that looks like a bug. I might have to copy that one. Why does it get clipped off? The B. I don't understand why the B's clipped off. It's got to be a bug in his code. The other one's got bots. Okay. Let's see. We've got one more X post here. Let me just see what it's about. Super bright anomalous craft perform physics-defying maneuvers. So we can come back to that one. And talk about that one. Okay. I'll give you a link to, if you're still there, Nathan, was it? To join. Yeah, installed. If you're on a laptop or phone, though. Are you on a laptop or phone? So if you're on a laptop, you can just click on this link here. I'll just get the chat software up in the corner. Let me know if you're still there. I just wanted to get through what I had in my mind there. And I'll slot you in where I can. Like now. And I'll start up the software. At the moment I haven't got streaming going to the chat software. Let's see. Why is it coming up with that now? Login. So yeah, so we ain't got the streaming at the moment. So I'll just see if I can turn that on. And there we go. Hey.
Hey.
We got Nathan, is it?
Yeah, Ethan.
Ethan? Oh, sorry.
Ethan.
Ethan, it's good to see you. And we're talking back and forth on YouTube there for a wee while.
Oops.
And he's a mad scientist by the sounds of it, making things in his garage. Mainly lifters.
It's a bit echoey. I'm not quite sure why. Just let me.
You probably got it on YouTube. YouTube's like 30 minutes, 30 seconds behind the live feed. So just mute the YouTube one if you've got the YouTube in another tab or another browser. I'm not hearing any echo my end.
There.
Is it better now?
Oh, there we go. Okay, it's better.
Yeah, you just can't have YouTube and the Jitsi at the same time, because Jitsi should be almost real time, give or take 1 second or so. It's a thing that came out after all the spying that happened with Kim.com, and people decided they needed to get rid of the man in the middle, which are normally servers that control the video back and forth. We're basically using software on the browser that connects directly to each other, and there's no man in the middle. and it can be encrypted as well, so that the government can't spy on us what we're saying. Of course, they can just watch the live stream and know what we're saying anyway. But Jitsi changed the way we do communication. This is what happens nowadays when the government tried to change all the rules and stuff, and people want their privacy back, I'm not sure if you've been following Kim.com, but he's a millionaire that moved to New Zealand from Germany, basically, or Hong Kong, and he moved around a wee bit. He married a Filipino supermodel. He's got about 7 kids. But yeah, you may have heard of him in America, I don't know, but he was certainly on Down Under TV and UK TV. Basically, he was a hacker as a kid, and he started doing security work and making websites up, and he bought up a company that he said was going to make better before there was certain rules in place, and he basically sold his shares like inside trading and made $1 million, and then took off to Hong Kong. And eventually he set up a thing called cloud service. You heard about cloud service, where they can upload files to the cloud, and Hollywood didn't like that because people were uploading movies to it and downloading it worldwide without paying, and so they set up a spy network on him in New Zealand, which was legal at the time, and they were looking at his communications, and one of them was Skype. So they were recording his private chats, right? So that's where it all went wrong, and we can't have anyone just listening in on your private chats whenever they want to, even if it's legal or not. So it changed the world, basically, how stuff works. But it hasn't stopped copyright, of course, and people still upload to all the different cloud servers up there, all these movies and TV shows, and there's nothing they can do about it. Because as soon as they take down, some new ones pop up, right? And it used to be peer-to-peer, I'm not sure you know about peer-to-peer. They used to share files that way.
Remember.
So
I don't know. I forget exactly. I don't know the difference, but
yeah, I'm a computer scientist, so I'm more into that sort of side of thing. You're more into science and inventor. So apparently you got a website we can look at.
Yes, electronairllc.org. Yeah.
How can I get it easy here?
World Wide Web.electronairllc.org.
You're going to your website. You got a website, have you? Okay. Electron.
Yeah, Electron Air.
Yeah.
LLC. Yeah,
LLC.
No, just LLC.
LLC on the end.
.org.
.org.
Yeah. I know if you're in the title bar, you have to put a www or something like that, or HTTP.
Welcome to Electron Air LLC. And you wanted to talk about some of these videos or not? So where do we begin?
Sure.
So have you been sacked by all this high voltage by any chance? That you muck around with?
Yeah, a lot of shocks. A whole bunch, and usually it's not too serious, but sometimes I push the wattage and it gets more dangerous, so
right.
But so if I would suggest rather than the website, going to my YouTube page.
Is there a link here?
It's if you go to Google and you go Ethan Krauss YouTube page. Ethan Krauss YouTube. There's probably a link there, but fastest if you go to Google. Well, I can tell you what. Before you leave this, if you go to the bottom of the first page, there, scroll way down.
Actually,
just scroll way down.
Here we go. We got. We can just do it this way. So we can just
That's an old.
play. Yeah, hang on, but we can just
Severe.
click on YouTube and it takes us there.
Oh yeah.
That's a little trick I found.
No, all right, you can try, but I think that takes you to Seversky on YouTube. This guy.
All right. We need to find your one.
Yeah, just go to Google. Open Google.
Yeah.
And
yep. We can type it in here, can we? Ethan,
and
was
then
it?
Search Ethan Krauss YouTube. Yeah. ETHAN.
Krauss. I have to zoom in because my eyesight's a bit bad because I had cataract surgery in the left.
Krauss. Oh shoot. Okay.
Is that right?
No, it's spelled the last name. No, last name spelled erase up and just Ethan, and then Krauss. Krauss. Yeah. Krauss. And no E.
No E.
And then YouTube channel.
Space. But we're actually searching in YouTube, so shouldn't it come up?
Oh.
Let me just try it.
All right. That's my website.
Well, that might be there, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
EMUS1.
Yeah, Krause Muse. It's like music.
Hang on, let's zoom out again.
I don't see my. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you go straight to, you're there. That's it. Now click on videos.
Yeah, of course. That's your home tab.
Yeah.
But you can customize the home tab, don't you? You can put a lot of sections. You can put a lot of sections in there.
Now, if you go back, what we do, you go back. When you go down, it goes to older and older ones, right?
Yeah.
So I can explain, like you could point towards each video, and you can start with the old ones. I don't know which how you want to do it.
Okay, well, before we start looking at videos, what got you into this? Was it UFOs, or was it just you read about Tesla and Townsend Brown stuff?
Back in the 90s, I was working on jet aircraft engines. And before I was an electrical engineer, and I was fixing this jet engine. I was welding on it in a vacuum chamber with TIG welding.
Yeah.
And on an APU unit, it's called an impeller. It was titanium impeller.
Right.
And the manager came by and he said, "Well, these will spin up to about 40,000 RPM."
Right.
And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to have an electronic one?
Yeah.
You could just you'd have limited speed, if you could move
air.
They
are working on that now, though. Electric engines for jets.
Yeah. Well, but that's different. What I was talking about was having a series of ring magnets, electromagnets, and then making the air magnetically charged, and then moving through the magnets sequentially. But I tried to make this device like that. It didn't work. Didn't do much,
Yeah, but if you combine that with plasma in the air, apparently it's like instant.
Yeah, there's a way.
Instant jet engine out the back, which I think the government probably have perfected. I'm pretty sure they're using plasma ion engines on their secret tech.
Yeah. Well, let me just tell you, I'll tell you real quick. So my younger brother is a chemistry professor at Brandeis.
Yeah.
And he said, well, it would take a lot of electricity to make the air, a lot of energy to make the air charged up enough to really work a system like that.
Yeah.
And then I saw that old video. Remember the video you just started clicking on with Seversky?
Yeah.
That was posted on the internet in the year 2000.
Right.
And I saw that video, and I thought, man, this thing's cool. Is it real? Can you really blow air with just high voltage? No propellers.
Yep.
And so I started trying to replicate his patent, Seversky's patent.
All right.
And I finally got, I got a huge big screen TV and ran some wires out of it, and because they have a high voltage circuit inside of them, the really old TVs. So I ran I ended up making a device that would blow a candle flame to the side, with ionically charged air.
Yeah.
And it would swing a little, and then I finally made one that of my own design that had little needles, hanging above a flat piece of foil, and the foil had round holes in it.
Yeah.
Right? It was triangle shape, and the needles would hang over those holes, and hook that up to the high voltage, and switch the polarity, and the thing floated all the way up to the ceiling.
All right. Yeah, I had a friend that's like a mad inventor, and he was mucking around with microwaves and pulling out the magnetron out of microwaves, and he couldn't even go near his garage one day when he was mucking around with it because he could feel it was burning. But eventually he turned off the power from outside, because you normally have a power lead going out to the garage, underground, like we can pull the fuse.
He's lucky he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, I think he was mucking around with like what you call a railgun, and he was trying to shoot this projectile using electricity. But because he heard there was lots of experiments done with anti-gravity where they were mucking around with that idea, and basically they shot a projectile that went through the garage roof, and they never ever found it. So I don't know where it went to, whether it went to space and eventually burnt up. But yeah, he's like a mad scientist, and he actually has sold a few of the patents for solar roof charging, where it charges and it turns on the floodlights at night time. And he found this circuit called what's it called now? He found this special circuit that apparently they couldn't explain why it actually made the batteries last much longer on solar lighting. And they're basically saying it's like free energy, but it was something to do with how it was creating the EMF backfeed from starting motors and various things like that. And the backfeed, they could actually convert it back into electricity and charge the battery at the same time. And it basically it reconditioned the battery all the time, and it sort of makes the battery last a lot longer than if you don't have that circuit in place. And Chinese are using it in lots of their circuitry now, apparently. But they can't explain why it's getting more energy. It's not over unity as such, but it's... Yeah.
I want to explain to you real quick about this device of mine, the devices.
Right.
I've been making these things for 25 years now.
Right.
And in 2003, there was a website, and it's still up, J.L. Nauden, who's very popular, lifter builder.
Right, could you say that again? I thought you cut out then for some reason.
It's fine. In 2003, there was a guy, or in the early 2000s, there was a guy named J.L. Nauden, Naudin.
Right.
And he still has a website up.
Right.
And he's got a page called Worldwide Lifters Replications.
Right. I think I may have seen that in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. He shows hundreds of people building little lifters.
Yeah.
And some of them aren't so little, And there was a Japanese guy that built a team that made a gigantic thing, and but there's a picture of that at the bottom of my webpage. But anyway, none of the lifters could come anywhere near lifting their power supplies. They all require a big, block of power supply.
Or a tether going to it. Yeah.
Yeah, electrified wires, power wires. They can be thin, but they have to be. But the power supply is just way too heavy. Way too heavy. 1,000 times too heavy. Yeah. So I started, researching power supplies, commercially available power supplies.
Yeah.
And I found out, and at first I took the power supply out of the television, the little transformer,
Right.
And it has diodes built in, so it puts out DC, high voltage.
Yeah.
And there's a circuit you can buy. It has like 5 parts, and you hook those up, and it will make that television transformer run without the television.
Right.
You know? So and you can make it run off of a big battery, like a car battery. You know.
Right.
So
well, they're too heavy.
That running.
Lead's heavy.
Heavy. Right. So then I thought, you know, I know that ignition coils have higher voltages but less current.
Right.
So I switched to ignition coils, and then I switched to motorcycle ignition coils because I wanted smaller and lighter, you know.
Right.
And I found some motorcycle coils that that had ferrite cores. You know, it's a core material that's like epoxy and metal mixed together.
Yeah.
They run at real high frequency, and those ferrite core transformer ignition coils were quite small. And then when I cut off all the coating and so on, I could see how it was made.
Right.
And I started making my own and going with higher frequency ones. And then I found out that you could use the inverters from old laptop screens, laptop computers.
Yeah.
Had cold cathode fluorescent lights inside.
Yeah.
And they used a tiny little inverters. Yeah. So I thought, so I learned that with those little inverters and a voltage multiplier, you could get high voltage from a much larger system. You know,
because you want high volts, but not necessarily lots of amps, right? What's the amperage are we looking at?
Right, but if you build it different, like a normal lifter takes a little bit of current, because you have the wires are fairly thick and they're low down next to the collector, right?
Right.
But if you put the emitter wire way up high and you use emitter wires that are only a few microns in diameter, it doesn't draw hardly any current.
Right.
Right. And you don't expect a huge amount of thrust per area. Spread it out over a large area.
Right. Yeah.
And then you can get a lot of thrust with hardly any power.
It's like an inverse square law, basically. You're talking about there.
Yeah. So, you know, after I had to build a whole bunch of these things before it evolved into a thing that actually lifted its power supply. And it's really different than a normal lifter. So I don't like to call it a lifter.
And you controlled it with radio frequency, did you? RC controller?
Yeah, little tiny. I have a radio receiver that's extremely small and light. And,
they put them in everything now, little chips, and don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't require, you know, the circuit's very small and light, and the receiver's small and light, and the structure's light. It's just, but it's different.
Do you watch?
It had to be very different. Yeah.
Do you watch a YouTube channel? Do you watch a YouTube channel called James Burton? This guy makes all these robots, and he programs.
Yeah, I've seen it. Now that you mention it, I've seen it. I don't know much about it. I mean, really, I work on these things, and that's all. You know, I'm either. Yeah,
but he has all these little circuits like CPUs.
That's it.
Yeah, he has all these circuits and Arduinos and Raspberry Pi, and he can program it with AI and also all these really complex remote controls from using just a chip and stuff. I thought maybe you watched that and got some ideas of him. He makes everything open source, so you can download all his projects, and you can actually 3D print his parts, and he builds some really interesting stuff sometimes. But I don't think he's ever done a lifter. But it's the sort of guy you could talk to, and
call it a lifter. Because a lifter is like, there's just no way those things were going to lift their power supply, you know?
No.
Unless they're massively modified. And so my thing is, and I started working on this before anybody ever made up that name lifter.
Yeah.
I was working on these things, and I called them ion crafts, I called mine an ion rocket. I didn't really know what to call it at first.
Yeah.
And, ion. So it's the two patents. One's called ion propelled vehicle, and the other one is called self-contained ion-powered aircraft.
Right.
So,
well, a lot of stuff is actually figured out by accident too. When people are mucking around with inventions and circuits and things, and they normally come across something they never thought about, and by pure chance, they get a new invention out of it. You know, and that's how Tesla worked half the time, I think.
You write down all your ideas, the ones that are far-fetched and the ones that are really sensible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes those far-fetched ones are, save the day, So,
yeah. So, what video can we look at of it lifting up a power supply?
Okay. Well, if you just point at the videos, I'll tell you what they are. Okay.
Okay, I'll just zoom in and we can have a look.
Okay. The first one is my daughter. It's not worth. I mean, you probably
self-contained.
My baby fighting with my wife with balloons. It's just funny. She's too young to even talk, but she knows how to fight with a balloon. Okay, the second video there. If you go to the very bottom, that one is the longest flight. But yeah, that one is a almost 2-minute long flight. Okay. And that's the longest flight I have. I don't know why.
Okay, let's just open that one up and let's have a quick look.
Okay.
You don't have to play 2 minutes of it, of course.
2 minutes, but you don't have to watch the whole thing.
King donated £5 through Super Chat. Thumbs up.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Michael's just donated. Okay, so let's have a look here.
Nice. Okay, so the device is taped. It has it's hexagonal. Made of hexagonal, centric hexagonal rings.
Yeah, can you move a wee bit closer to your mic? You're cutting out a wee bit.
Oh, the collector surface of that vehicle is made of centric hexagonal rings. Right?
Right.
So the hexagons, on each corner, there's a thin thread that comes down, and it's taped to the table. Right? There's little blue pieces of tape all the way around the table, 6 of them.
All right.
I don't know. If
it looks like it was staying pretty level. That's for sure.
That's why it stays level, because after it lifts itself and it jumps up in the air. But the reason it's perfectly stable is because it's held in place because it pulls tight on those tie downs.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it sits there and levitates for almost 2 minutes before the batteries run out.
Okay.
Now, there's 45 videos on that channel. So if there's anybody out there that thinks this is a string trick, they're wrong. It's not a string trick. It's really ion propelled.
You mean hanging by fishing wire or something like that?
Yeah, it's not hanging by threads. It's not a magic trick. It's a real science device. Now these metal things that you see there, those aren't solid metal. Those are they're thin plastic metallized collector surfaces, right?
Right.
So it's very lightweight.
Yeah, and these things have to be light.
Tubes that stick up,
do you use carbon fiber nowadays, or what are you using?
I switched to special carbon fiber that I make myself, tubes.
Right.
But they're very, very so lightweight that they're just, it's taken me years to figure out how to make them that light. But I was using boron filaments instead, right? And boron filaments boron's more rigid and light than carbon, but you can't make it in tubes, realistically. So
what's the stuff they now use on airships? Air gel, something called air gel. Aerogel, yeah.
But see this. Okay, I'll let you in on one of the secrets of it. The collector surfaces. I say it in the patent anyway. The collector surfaces are made of a variety of thicknesses of metallized polypropylene plastic. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's like a microfilm, and
you
roll it and fold it, glue it along the edge. You get a ring-shaped tube, but the tube's very light. If you drop it, it would just almost float down. Not quite. It's not that light, but it's it's very light. And so those concentric hexagons are made of very light tubing. And since they're so thin, they're only microns thick, they're actually lighter than if they were made of solid aerogel.
Right.
You see, because there's hardly any material there. It's like a really thin and light. So this one here was made with metallized with aluminum. And aluminum, after a few weeks, it starts oxidizing a little bit, and it doesn't conduct as well.
Right.
And then it starts flying poorly, So I switched over to silver. And silver works for, for a few months, and then it starts to tarnish.
Carbon?
Oh, the carbon, you don't have to worry about tarnishing.
No, you wouldn't worry about carbon.
That's a frame. Carbon is just a frame, yeah. I mean, and in most of these, the frame is boron.
Yeah.
And it was custom boron that I got from.
You almost need like metal carbon, like it has metal embedded into the carbon. You need something like you need a metal material is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Well, it's metalloid, but the thing is that it's is that the frame itself is non-conductive.
Right.
So because I don't want I want it's got an emitter and a collector, and you don't want anything interfering with the operation of those. Main part. So. Okay, so that's the 2-minute flight. It just floats up, and it just it's 2 minutes long of it just hovering in one place, and then it lowers down, and then I floor the throttle again, and it floats up for another 2-3 seconds.
Right.
Okay.
First one to lift.
So that's the first one. I probably to lift without a scale above it.
Right.
Yeah, and so the point behind this is that it's carrying its power supply, and that was like impossible with normal.
I can't see the power supply here. Whereabouts is it on these ones?
Okay, I'm holding the battery with my hand. You see what I grabbed? And that,
so a little tiny battery at the top.
Right.
The tube in the middle,
The tube in the middle is an elongated voltage multiplier.
Right.
Right.
So what sort of battery are you using? Lithium ion, is it?
Lithium polymer. Yeah.
Lithium
like
polymer.
you find in micro quads, that kind of battery.
Right.
Batteries. There's 2 of them. And then the long tube in the middle is a voltage multiplier, very lightweight, elongated one.
Right.
It runs between the emitter and collector surfaces. And then on top of that, you can't see it in that old fuzzy video, but on top of that, there's a tiny transformer and all the electronics, which are micro, surface parts. The transformer is very small. It looks like a shirt button.
Yeah.
Large shirt button. So it has to be special. Everything's special. The transformer, you can't just buy a transformer that works well enough. Had to evolve it.
So we were talking about the new lifter that they claimed was silent but had a fan in the middle, whether that was a trick or whether it actually was working. But in the show, it looked like it was floating up all right. It was a bit floppy, but it looks like you could hear a slight fan noise, but it didn't seem like the fan was powerful enough to lift up that whole thing alone. So there must have been some sort of iron flow for it to be able to lift up. How long it can stay up, I don't know. But I
have a lot of experience with the magnitudes of forces involved. You know what I mean? I know how much thrust ion thrusters tend to produce and how much power they tend to take, and the geometries how those geometries work, and so on. And that thing, that undefined technologies thing, has a fan that people have directed viewers to. Other commenters have mentioned it looks exactly like a particular brand of ducted fan that takes about 3,000 watts to work, and it's used in model jet airplanes, and it's very powerful. So it'd have no trouble lifting a big lifter.
Yeah, that's the problem with these videos online is you don't actually get an up close view of all the working parts.
Right. Well,
but
this
yeah,
old video you
yep,
on now is so old it's not, and the camera wasn't focused yet, and that's
yeah,
still you're showing,
yeah.
and that's an old. You know, the pictures get better and better as the years go by. You know, because that's
Right,
almost
okay,
that was 2006 or no 2000. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
right.
This one is with
And
that man with the beard. You see the man with the beard in that last one? That that guy.
yeah,
That's the news. Jeff St. Clair from what's that news program? NPR. Yeah, NPR and the local news station. But
right,
he's a science correspondent of NPR. He came over,
right.
and the first time he came over, it burned out, didn't work. And I said,
Oh,
you
damn.
know, look, just promise me when you come over, if it doesn't work the first time, you'll come back. You know? And he said, okay. So the first time he came, didn't work, and then the second time he came, and it levitated up, and he was just, you know, and I caught the picture of him there with his mouth hanging, you know.
Yeah, I noticed you flying it always over a table. Have you actually taken it outside on the green grass and shown it still
Yes.
lifts up?
Yeah,
okay.
Some of the newer videos, if you go on up on the videos there.
Keep going up. Where do we get to?
I have two large workshops, sheds. And there was that one with the unfinished walls is in a different workshop. This is in the oldest garage when we lived in a different house. That's an old work room.
6 years ago. There.
It wasn't. I actually did it before that, but I didn't upload it until then. You know.
Right.
So then
4 years ago.
You make it a little smaller. I can only see like well.
Oh, right, here we go. Some grass screen.
Outdoors, right? Now the ones that go up really high, I have an overhead tether. You see it?
It's a bit
you
hard.
Can't see it in that picture, but
this is how UFO hoaxes work with their models, right? It's very hard to see the fishing line.
Yeah, no.
In your case, in case yours is a wire. Okay, I can see a wire here.
Okay, there it is
on that thumbnail.
Right.
Yep.
It's not a wire. It's a piece of blue yarn. Okay, and this one's hanging from that blue yarn, and I point it out in the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when it takes off, you see the blue yarn curl up. You know what I mean? Like it goes completely loose.
Okay, let's play that one then. I might just open
and there's a link to high def video of it too underneath in the description.
Open link in a new window. We'll just try that.
Try it the bigger the screen, the better. Because I recently got a really large TV and it's extremely obvious. You know, on the bigger TVs. People look at their phones sometimes and they think it's a hoax. But I point it to everybody. Look, it's hanging. And the reason that these ones have a overhead tether, some of them, is because I can't. If I go up really high and if I tie down.
Hang on, let me just mute the video.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me explain why some of the outdoor flights have an overhead tether. Okay. Because if I want to fly real high and I don't have the overhead tether, then when I land, the thing's going to crash. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not stable enough yet.
No. So you sort of need some sort of airbag on the ground for it to crash into.
Well,
if you don't have a tether.
The tether's like a landing gear. Now it starts to go, and you see it start to get a little bit loose. It's hard to see in this video, but you'll see it when seconds there. If you look at it on a big screen, you can see. Yeah, maybe that's enough. We'll see. There, saw it. It's fairly obvious,
I can see the tether. Yeah.
But you'll see it get loose. You see it kind of coil up, kind of ravel.
Probably have to pause at the point.
Yeah, pause it anywhere you want. Get a big screen TV if you need. And there's I'm not sure if this one has there's a different angle video of it too.
We can step it frame by frame.
Yeah.
I can see it. Looks like you got a cable going each side here to stabilize it, is it?
It's got a slip ring on that cable, so I can, or not cable, on the whatchamacallit, It's a blue yarn, and it's got a plastic ring, and it's tied to that. And when it takes off, that thing that goes loose.
So is it a horizontal line going this way?
Right.
And you got it dangling on the horizontal line.
And also, anyone can arrange to come see a demo. I have a model that's working.
Whereabouts are you again? You said on the side chat, but
in Oberlin, Ohio.
Right. It's a bit far for me to come and visit.
Well,
but yeah. Yeah.
You can verify it. But I mean, the newsman verified it, you understand? And he's no dummy. So, I mean, there's 45 videos of it. If you look at it carefully, you'll see that thing curl a little bit.
It's probably still a wee bit too hard, though. Maybe,
look at the video description,
maybe what you should do is make it the best color for the video at the time, because I know you can get various. Yeah. You can get various colors with.
I mean, with a big screen, it's very obvious.
You get Kevlar string from AliExpress. You can get single strands and multiple strands for flying kites, right? You can then maybe get a color that sort of matches better for your video, so you can see it. Maybe, and then you could choose how many strands you want too. And then it might be easy to see, right? Could. Yeah, I think there's a bend happening here.
All right, I can't prove it with this video, unless. Wait a minute, though. Go to the description of the video.
Yeah, I'm just stepping it back and forth. There's cable there, I think.
I can't see it on my screen here on this little laptop. I can't see the crystal clear whether like really.
There's a line on the tree here. Is that part of the cable?
No, that's part of the tree. Yeah, I mean,
so that's probably where you gone wrong with the tree here. The tree is making it a wee bit difficult, you see.
Well, listen,
but I can see the cable here.
Wasting time is what I'm trying to say. If you zoom back out and firstly look at the video description. It says video description. There. Doesn't it show a link? I'm not sure about this video or not, but doesn't it say, here's a high def version of this video. Click on that.
Okay. All right. I haven't upped it here either. Better do that. Google always turns off the HD for some reason, just to save bandwidth, I think. Always got to check it. And we always got to check it. And I always forget.
Yeah, I did that before on one or two of the videos. It wasn't in high def, and I didn't know about that either. My camera did that.
Now, as long as it's got the red thing showing, we're good to go. 4K is better, of course, if you do 4K, and you can really zoom into it then.
All the new videos are 4K, all the videos of it. And listen, this is 1 out of 45 videos of it. You understand? I have plenty of videos where there's no questions. But I mean, any VTOL flying, if you look at it long enough, you'll see that. How's it going to do that to the side? I mean, you could have people hiding behind the fence or something there. If you look at it really careful, you'll see that it goes loose.
Yeah, I can see it's left. And look, it reminds me very much of Townsend Brown's experiments, actually.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah.
It goes loose in my mind. You know what I mean? But this isn't the best show because for people that are extremely, that don't get it, this is not a trick at all.
Yeah. So what happened is Townsend and Brown went from 1 layer to 2 layers and 3 layers. Then he went to umbrella shapes and UFO shapes.
Sure. But multiple layers are sequent. 2 layers gives you half a gram of lift per watt instead of 1 gram, and 3 layers gives you 0.3 grams of lift per watt or something like that. So it's not good to have multiple layers. If you want to get, you need a maximum efficiency to lift your batteries and your power supply.
Yeah, I
So
think it was
let's go to some
more
more
trying
obvious
to
ones.
duplicate what he found in capacitors, where each of the layers would lose weight, which he believes was anti-gravity rather than ions. And
Right,
it's
but you gotta have
another.
but he
I
had
think that's a
huge,
fit. Yeah, yeah. Carry on.
he had a like hundreds of pounds of power supply to do his experiments. This thing
Yeah.
has a power supply on board. You know.
Yeah.
Now, if we go to a different video where there's no fuzziness about what I'm talking about. You know?
Okay, we'll just
back to my
close that
video.
one down.
Yeah.
And we'll just go through
'Cause I don't
the other
wanna waste
ones.
space. Go to the one with
Uh,
the glass table outside. No, that's not glass. That's a cardboard table carried around.
Yeah, I'm going up.
There, that one.
Oh, it's suddenly zoomed up very quickly.
There it is.
You
My
want that
wife's
one?
with me there. Okay, yeah. The reason is because there's no overhead tether. You understand? With this one.
Okay, I'll open a new window. That one just makes it easier.
And the table's clear, so you can see there's no hidden power supplies. You know. So I mean, I have a video of a power supply working too on this channel. You can see it close up and watch it working. But
and you can see again, it's turned off the HD here. Oh no, it's still on. Okay, we'll just check it anyway.
Okay, good.
Quality
Okay.
1080p. Okay.
Okay, I think I maybe had a better. It's high def anyway. It's at least high def. You know, all my videos.
The problem is when you upload it to YouTube, they change the bit rate. So even though you got
anyway,
although you got
enough.
although you got the pixels, they changed the bit rate, and the bit rate could be lower to what your camera is. So when you get a lot of fast movement, it tends to have what you call motion blur or pixelization happening, and you don't get that if you got a high enough bit rate. And of course, YouTube mucks around with that. Unfortunately, that's why you're best to have your videos directly downloadable, so they can play it directly on the computer and bypass YouTube if you want to really show detail. But anyway, yep, we'll just carry on.
Well, by the time you see, a little bit more, there won't be any more doubt at all for anybody, unless they're just, So that thing is flying with its power supply on board.
Right.
Got a little bit of a power drain in that video, and then I fiddled with it, and it just started working a little better. It's got probably a loose connection or something. See those little black fins on the power unit on top of it, under the batteries?
Yeah.
Those black fins are pyrolytic graphite sheets. If you,
I can see cables to your. You got cables going up. Little cables coming up.
Those aren't cables. Those are plastic tubes. Special
plastic tubes with cables, though.
No, on the top there are filaments, and glued to the sides of the filaments are extremely thin tungsten emitter wires. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you zoom in too much, people will think that that they won't be able to see everything. That's
playing another video, but looks
no, that's MIT's thing, and they claim to be the first, and that's wrong. MIT was wrong.
Yeah.
So mine's patented, and it was the first. Theirs is not. It doesn't, and it can't go straight up in the air, and it never will.
Right.
So anyway, I don't want to go into that. But so you see the yellow picture there? The yellow video? That's a close up of the power supply. And it starts off a little fuzzy. That's a power supply from 2011 or something.
Okay, that's
So if you click on it, it wasn't uploaded until like 3 years ago. I decided to show it to you.
So what's your ambition to try and get it to lift up more and more weight? Is that your goal still?
Yeah.
Or
the new
you're not
vehicle,
giving up?
I'm not giving up, nope. And I got all kinds of support, But when you click on this and you first at the beginning of the video, it's a little fuzzy, and then whoever's taking the video, they adjust it.
This one's not HD, but looks at why. 720.
I don't know if it ever is, but you'll be able to see.
I don't know, 720 is the highest.
780. It's a very old, like I said, it's a very old video, but it's all right. You'll be able to see everything as soon as it zooms in on its own. So it starts off. If you put on the sound, I think you can play the sound.
Arc a little bit. Watch the arc go from side to side when it's steering forward and back.
Okay, so it's going to get clearer in a second.
Right.
You see the little actuator moving, that little switch? See it? It's actually a series of resistors on a curved circuit, thin film circuit. It'll get clear there now. See, I told you it's broken. Okay, so when that switch goes to one side, an arc will appear on one side of the styrofoam, or one side of the board, and when the switch moves the other way, an arc appears on the other side of the switch.
Okay. And the spot's
See, the
over
arc
here.
moves with the switch.
Yeah.
See that?
That's it.
Spike in between the two posts there, was it?
Yeah, that's steering for an ion propelled vehicle. It's a test of the high voltage and steering. So you see the little square looking black thing on the styrofoam?
Yeah, this thing here.
No, that's the steering. That's a switch. That there is a transformer, a 7 millimeter diameter transformer. It runs at
There's
over
a
100
square
kilohertz.
bit down there.
It's not really square. It's just got a square base to it. It's actually a round transformer. But anyway, that's the transformer. It's very small. You see it? And that long thing is a voltage amplifier. Made a very lightweight part. You see the lithium polymer batteries at the back?
At the back there.
Yeah. And this is the inverter circuit that converts it to alternating, a system for the transformer to come on, to run.
Right.
So that is a power supply that weighs next to nothing, that produces very high voltage, switches back and forth, and sufficient current to fly this vehicle.
Okay.
But it wouldn't work as well with a lifter, because a lifter has very low, thick wires, and
the thing is, it's all to do with scalability. Like, so if you're going to make this into a craft that can carry men, or just say one man, can you scale it up?
Well, that's another matter. Yeah, that's another
You're talking about
that's different.
It's like if you scale down a human to an ant size, you'd be able to jump very high.
Yeah,
it's to do with physics and science,
but yes, it has to do with physics. But think about this:
the stuff that works at nanoscale doesn't necessarily work in the macro scale, the bigger scale.
Right. That's right. But imagine if you had a rocket, even a little small rocket, that could run for hours. Like, say you put solar panels on this, right? Solar film, very lightweight.
Yeah.
Just run and run, and then you could
spy satellite. Well, spy lifter. A spy. What was the word you used for your one? Not lifter. What was it again? What do you call it?
Ion propelled vehicle. Yeah.
Iron vehicle.
That's the second. Ion propelled vehicle.
Right. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful. You probably need to work out a new name for it.
Simpler, yeah. Well,
like lifter, but something different. Not lifter, but maybe something closer to that sort of idea.
These differences, all these small differences, are critical because they make it about 1,000 times better thrust to weight ratio.
Yeah, that's right.
Ordinary takes a big, huge, big ass transformer, and it just isn't gonna. It just won't work, you know.
Yeah, they are mucking around with little drones. Have you seen the little insect drones that flap its wings and it flies around with a camera and everything?
Oh, wow.
And it's only like the size of your hand or less.
I haven't seen them in real life, but I've seen a video,
DARPA projects. So they're working on this nanoscaled spy drones, or even little drones that can go into a building and kill someone. And they can put enough C4 on. They can actually carry enough C4 for this thing to land on someone's head and blow the head off.
Oh yeah.
Or create enough explosion, like it's like an external bullets. So they should.
Well, I'm trying to avoid military, anything military, because I don't.
Yeah, that's the only way to get funding now. Funding for these projects, isn't it? Isn't it how it normally happens, that you have to be part of the defence force and get funding? And universities, they fund universities for the same thing, but they take away their research stuff and then they incorporate it in their own military stuff.
I did consulting for 5 weeks for a NASA contractor, and I'm pretty glad that it's in the past, you know. And I their goals, but I like to continue doing scientific and purely scientific.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring up that lifter thing that got us talking initially. That I was questioning it also in further live shows whether it was a trick or not. I know that maybe it's possible that they figured out something of a way to distribute the airflow across the the posts, basically, that charge, so it creates more airflow.
Yes.
Whether it's got some sort of like piping that they not told us, where it ejects the airflow along the whole structure, because it does look a wee bit strange. What's it called?
I know that it's important. Like if you have needle points, for instance, you build a vehicle that has needle points instead of emitter wires. It focuses.
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense if you can get the airflow going across it more. You should produce more ions, right?
Yeah, it's more. The more even the thrust, the more.
Oh, here we go.
It's
so
more
you contacted me on this short here. Well, that's going to open up like a normal video, I think. Depends how you search it and click on it.
Well, that video
I'm not sure if he's got a picture of him standing next to it. I think it's quite big, though. Hang on. I'll just mute it there and just play it.
For that was loud. Yeah. And that...
this is their
the audio on that one in the laboratory was covered up with music. So there's no sound. You know what I mean? And he used to have a video on his website previously that showed the vehicle connected to a huge lever. Right. And there was a bucket on the other side of the lever, and it couldn't even pick up the weight of its own frame with an external power supply.
Yeah.
So that ducted fan in the middle is like a Herculean powerful thing.
Yeah, it's quite a big device, isn't it?
It's too heavy to go up with just ions unless you got like a battery that's like unheard of, and power and a transformer that's unheard of. Then you could do it.
Yeah, apparently they're working with sodium ion batteries now, and they're getting the voltage up on those to replace lithium ion. And they're getting it down to...
Yeah, you'd have to have stuff that they aren't, you'd have to...
Yeah, they're experimenting with like 3-second charging for smartphones.
Yeah.
They get it down to a few seconds charging, and you can run your phone up to 8 hours of it. And also higher amperage ones.
Sodium ion, huh?
Sodium ion. They can charge up to 20 minutes and have it run also for high amperage for 8 hours or something ridiculous. They're finding that they can dope it, as they call doping sodium, with other chemicals that are easily available. I don't know if it's silicon. I did actually present it on one of my recent live shows. I can't remember what that was. It was like a long name. But yeah, they found that making a layer of this stuff mixed for, instead of using lead, they put this layer of stuff into the sodium mix, and they can increase the charge time, reduce the charge time, but increase the voltage output and also the amps. But anyway, it's a new technology they're still experimenting with. But you reckon this is a trick, and this ain't actually lifted by ions, but mostly the jet engine underneath is what you're saying.
Mostly the jet engine, right? That's what I think. So I mean, because you're only going to get, it's just not gonna. It doesn't add up mathematically to me.
Well, even if it was using a jet engine, it's going to be really loud. But still, if it was flying around with some help with ions, let's just say it's the ions.
The thing is, how much do the ions help? You see, now they finally. I claimed. I said in a comment a couple years ago, they ought to get rid of the ion propulsion part, and it will work better. And now, if you go to the page. Go to their webpage, you'll see they're selling just the center of it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Fair enough. And here's a close-up of another one. It's not the same one, is it? It looks quite. It looks kind of different. Yeah. Right. It looks yellow there.
Of it, but it's pretty much the same one. One of them has 2 layers, one of the newer ones instead of 3.
That's a fairly close look up one there. Can't see the jet engine.
The red
is yours.
stand in the middle is like a 3,000 watt jet from a model airplane. It looks like it. I mean, it looks like the same one that you can buy. Or the yellow.
That looks like the battery at the top here, is it? All running down here. I'm not sure.
But listen, I spend all my time looking at these, what I mean?
Yeah. So you contact me
by looking at the way, if there's does work, they gotta, they should contact me, and they wouldn't. I emailed them and they won't respond. And the guy's changed what he says over and over again. He says it's silent and it flies for 15 minutes, and then he shows a video of it flying for 20 seconds and keeps rewinding the video like 5 times. So in reality, it probably flew for 6 seconds.
Yeah, you have to be invited along and actually just document it yourself and see if there's any sleight of hand or tricks they're doing.
Well, in my case,
if they're being dishonest, you'd be able to expose them and say this is how they're doing it, and it's not actually true lifter.
But I wanted to make it clear in my case, I have 2 patents that explain exactly how it works. It lines up with known physics exactly, not just basic physics, but in numerically, and it's there's witnesses, very reputable witnesses. There's I can go into every detail, you know what I mean, and show you exactly how it works.
Right, that's probably the smallest power supply I've seen on any of these
that one
ones
there
without a tether. Right?
That what? No tethers on those ones.
No tethers,
except tie downs. No tethers on those. Yeah. The only tethered ones are those ones where it goes real high, because I think
probably the way to get rid of the tether is somehow add some landing gear legs on it, on the corners.
It has landing gear, but yeah. But
has it?
I mean, like some really springy ones.
Yeah, really springy legs that just land and cushions it as it comes down.
All the ones on that one there has a gyro stabilizer circuit and switches that switch electrically the quadrant outer edges on and off.
Right.
But it was just a little bit too heavy and a little bit sluggish of a circuit, and it didn't stabilize or fly sufficiently. But I did publish that video anyway, even though it was, not quite there yet, just so that people could see it with the gyro stabilizer. Could see an attempt with the gyro stabilizer circuit. It's not a gyro like a spinning top. It's a gyro like a microchip.
Sometimes you need like maybe a outside thinker. I know these things take forever and a day to build, and to keep modifying things and testing it out.
You got it. Something's happening. It does fly. I don't know why it's. You got it like.
Yeah, I just got a finger on it. It's just,
seconds over and over.
Yeah.
You're just pointing at it. I see. Okay.
Yeah, I was just pointing at it. It's just playing out the YouTube's new method of playing a few seconds of it. I'll just open it up.
Okay.
We got it muted. Yeah.
It's nice if you can hear the wind blow, but it's not very loud. It's like almost silent,
Contained ion-powered aircraft with automatic gyro stabilization.
Yeah, and I think if you zoom in too much, people.
Yeah.
And steering on board.
In general.
Forward.
Kind of scoots, when it's not working quite right. When it catches on, it'll kind of there.
Yeah.
You hear the iron wind blowing.
Yeah. Well, they say some UFOs create a electrical charge in the air, similar to a lifter like this, and they just wonder if the saucer shape could be man-made, not aliens, and actually have a charged skin using metal materials, maybe because it may be a DARPA project, and they're doing like a lifter technology, and got it more efficient, more efficient, and
in order for something that's ion propelled, I mean, if you look at a NASA ion thruster, it weighs like 10,000 times more than the thrust it produces. Right? So it's very hard to lift to use ion propulsion to lift a power supply. It's like I did down there, did it with the whole physics class present, but it wasn't working very well, and so it just kind of took off once during the whole lecture. But you can see that it's not a trick.
Yeah, I just wonder if you could probably put a little gas cylinder on it and experiment with maybe...
Yes, I have that. There's a video. If you scroll down, there's one where it's carrying two gas cylinders.
And somehow get it going through maybe little micro holes.
Exactly. I've done that, and I made they're like irrigation tubing. Right?
Right.
And the cylinder blows the propellant out through the irrigation tubing holes over the top of the vehicle.
All right.
And I have a vacuum chamber in my, you can see it in some of these videos somewhere, or if not, see it on my website.
Right.
And I put this little, a smaller version of this in the vacuum chamber, and did experiments with it in vacuum.
Right.
But it's not, it's not. It wouldn't work because the thing has to be. It can't be nearly the size of the vacuum chamber, huh?
You mean it has to be? It has to have gas in the atmosphere for it to work. Is that what you're saying?
No, it can work with a propellant tank.
Yeah, you
very
take
small
gas,
not like a rocket, but like a tiny propellant tank. It'll work for a long time.
Right.
But the thing is that when you're testing in a vacuum chamber, the vehicle has to be far smaller than the chamber. Otherwise, you can't get the circulation. It won't allow the propellant to circulate, to move the vehicle.
Well, if you have a look at Townsend Brown's umbrella experiments, he had either like a dome further down from the umbrella, or he had a little tinier umbrella underneath at certain distances. So he was mucking around with 2 layers. Now he seemed to have more lift going on with that combination that he was mucking around with. He figured out stuff for sure. A lot of stuff that he'd done, you probably haven't got access to, right? The government's probably got it.
Well, no, isn't that Townsend Brown had a power supply that weighed like 200 pounds or so. I don't know the weight, but it appeared to weigh hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
And to fly something that was very light, they couldn't even fly. It swung around a pole.
Yeah, I understand it's older
swing on a
technology and they
string.
didn't have lithium-ion batteries back then and all that sort of stuff, but well,
there's a million details, and it's just his
Yeah,
thrust
yeah,
weight was not there. The one with the tanks. If you scroll down, it'll say with propellant tanks. And I have a video of it flying with one with, keep going down a ways. Further down. Further. Eventually you'll see it'll say with propellant tanks. It lifts there. Lifts 2 tanks. You see it? On top right? Can't point you. It's scroll down, I think. I'm not sure.
I never saw it.
Maybe if you zoom out a little bit, we can see. We can choose fast.
But yeah, then I can't read it.
Sorry. Okay. However you need to do it. Yeah. Sorry. I can tell.
Self-contained.
There's a smoke test on the right, and then there's. I did a bunch of other lectures, and they're not lectures, but, like interviews. It's not up. I don't mean it's like on the top of the page. I mean it was the top of the page you were showing. So it's in the middle. Just keep going down. I'll tell you when you're there. Just keep going down.
I'm going up. I'm going up at the moment.
Yeah, keep going that way. Keep going. I'll tell you when you get there. Keep going.
We're at the top now.
Keep going.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. We've probably covered all you've got here, really, and you probably have to move on to other stuff now. But
Okay.
Maybe just need to try some different shapes as well, instead of a circle.
Yeah, I have tried some that are. It's better to have them smooth rings instead of hexagons, but they're really a bear to build to make them light enough and good enough quality.
Yeah, I can understand it'd be like a costly thing that you play a lot of money into. What's the side chat saying here? Thanks a lot again for your donation there, Michael. Shogun, how's it going? Okay, I thought there might have been some questions. Any questions you want to ask Ethan about his experimentation with iron lifters? Do post it out in the side chat. Ethan, you. And we're just asking anyone out there. Asking anyone out there if they want to ask you a question, Ethan.
Sure, any questions you have. If anybody has any doubts or just questions of how stuff works or how I came about to get these things or what value is it or anything, Oh, I wanted to say one thing is because if you go to online acceleration calculator, right?
Right. You want me to do that?
Type in okay, well you could. It would be nice. It might be extra rigmarole. Don't mind. Omni online acceleration calculator. I
Yeah.
think that should take you there. This is actually
On
very
the
interesting to find.
online acceleration, was it?
Yeah.
Calc.
Yeah.
What we got here?
Got
Is
there.
that the one?
Acceleration. No, that might be it. Omni calculator. Let's see. If you get to the right one, you can type in, 5G acceleration for, 2 weeks or something.
I'll just
Try
click on
different
that,
scenarios.
see where it goes. Physics calculators. Oh. It's got everything. Oh, yeah, it has quite a lot, doesn't it?
Acceleration.
Free fall
Yeah, you need
calculator.
acceleration.
Arrow speed calculator. Ballistic.
Yeah, this is probably the wrong page because it should go right to it. You know what I mean? God, I don't know why.
Okay. Calculators. Biological chemistry,
Yeah,
construction. What we
I would
want.
go. I would just go to back to Google and.
So there's quite a lot of calculators there.
Yeah, if you go back
let's
to
just
Google,
type in
it's more efficient.
acceleration. Let's type that in. Acceleration.
Okay.
And see if it comes up. Okay, we got acceleration calculator, electric field calculator.
Okay, that's it. That might be it right there. So
That's what one,
acceleration
physics?
calculator. Yeah, let's see if that's it.
Okay. Just thinking about it. Speed difference,
Distance travel.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we go to
Initial speed.
Initial speed about 0.
0. About 0.
Distance 1. Huh?
Yeah, you said about 0.
1 light year. Okay, you have to, doesn't like 0. Okay, put.
Is that 1 light year? How do we do that? 1. Where's the pull down? Light year. Hasn't got light year.
Yeah, I know. I have to wear reading glasses. So, and I have all kinds of goggles for my.
Meters, kilometers, inches, feet, yard, miles. Hasn't got light year listed there.
No, it's the wrong thing then, probably.
Okay, unless you change it here.
Light
speed.
years. No, light speed.
0. And does it change it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Down?
This isn't a good one. What I'm talking about is very straightforward. And the calculator, I'll just summarize it, okay?
Well, you can actually.
Yeah, this isn't the best. We didn't end up on the right page, the easy page.
Yeah.
So if you go to Google, it should just lead you right there. No intermediate steps.
Well, what I can do is you can post it directly into the side chat on YouTube. And it should show up here. But I have to give you moderator rights to be able to post. So let me just see if I can find you on YouTube.
Well, I don't know if I want to. I'm a little bit hesitant. If I had 2 computers up, but I'm a little hesitant to do too much.
Okay.
I guess it should be a problem. I just don't want to mess up our chat, our thing here.
Yeah, I understand.
So I can just explain it. There's all kinds of calculators, the acceleration calculators, and if you type in, at 1G, how long does it take to get near the speed of light? At 2Gs, you know what I mean? You can't get to the speed of light, according to current science. But that might be it. But that's probably going to give you something else. I don't know. But the point is that if you can accelerate, like a normal rocket runs for a few minutes, right? And maybe and goes at a couple of G's for a few minutes and then shuts off. But if you can run for weeks at a time, or 5 G's for weeks, then you can reach fantastic speeds. And this type of propulsion can do that.
Yeah, because in
You know what I mean?
space you want to use electric rather than gas.
Yes,
Because you can always
because in
recharge it
space,
from sunlight, right?
you're right. And in space, the particles come out of it extremely fast,
Right.
proportional to the voltage. And so it's much faster in space than a chemical rocket, and takes very small amounts of propellant, not huge tanks like a chemical rocket. So this could make a fantastic space probe for going to the stars and going to the planets.
Yeah.
Better than anything else, any other idea out there, because that's what the math. If you find an online acceleration calculator, the right one, it's maybe one of the viewers could find it and let us know. But I'm pretty sure if you go to Google,
I've tried it on Google. Got to have the right keywords though for it.
Maybe not Omni. Maybe Omni gives us troubles. Maybe just online acceleration.
Let's come up with a definition here.
If we scroll down and get a different
acceleration calculator, easy to use online. It's not Omni though.
Maybe. No, it's fine. There we go. Maybe this will do it. Can you do light years for distance or feet per second? Speed. That's going to give you a speed, miles per hour. Do miles per hour at the bottom. Well, I mean, probably a European would prefer kilometers per hour, but most of us probably don't have too much of a problem with either one, right? Miles per hour. I can't see it because it's so zoomed in. I'm getting a little disoriented, but
yeah. No light speed in the pull downs though, so that one hasn't got it. No light speed there.
Well, even if it doesn't mention light, you want to know. The idea is, if you accelerate it at 1G, for a month, how far do you travel? That's the question. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can just ask that. Just ask Google.
Yeah.
At 1G over 1 month, how far do you go?
G over 1 month. Distance. You want what, in space or atmosphere?
Yeah. In space.
What's in space? It'll probably go to AI. Here we go.
Significant percentage. Oh yeah, AI would
not available at the moment. Oh, damn it. Propulsion.
How fast will 1G get you there?
Space
4.2
exploration.
light years. I think it's like 6 months or something like that to go to Alpha Centauri. At 1G. What is this? I don't know the exact number.
Well, this is on a forum, space exploration.
There's different people have different calculations too, so you have to be careful.
Where's the answer though? Here we go.
They're not always right, I've had a lot of math, and I noticed that sometimes people make mistakes,
And here's a graph here. Kilometers. And hours.
But
yeah, I'm not sure again.
4.5 days will get you 5 astronomical units. That's like, I don't know how many astronomical units is Mars. I don't know. It's like,
yeah, I don't understand all that myself.
get you to Mars, in a matter of days, right? If you can accelerate at 1G, I'm not sure the exact numbers, but those are the ballpark figures, right?
Right.
So, and if you keep doing it, like say this was you use this as a probe.
Okay, so it's here. After 1 year at 1G, we will have traveled 5 light years.
Half a light year. Okay.
Oh,
so
half
then
a
increase
light,
it to right. Increase. So with almost these new solar films that are much lighter than batteries,
Yeah.
This thing could accelerate at, say, two Gs, maybe to a light year.
But there is a problem with that, though. As you go faster, you hit micrometeorites are going to hit it and destroy it.
Yeah.
So you need some sort of.
If it hits one.
You need some sort of shielding at the front, and maybe you can use some sort of electromagnetic shielding, but. Yeah, this has always been the thing, is that if UFOs could go to the speed of light, it still would take many years to get here.
Well, I mean, the point I'm trying to make is that if you accelerate at several Gs, you know, it's a matter of months to get to go very far. Yeah, because you're
always accelerating with no friction in space, so it's going to keep getting faster and faster.
People don't think of that. They think, well, this rocket has raw power and it can lift a lot of weight, and they don't really.
And then you got to do the reverse engine of that to slow it down halfway, to slow it down so it can orbit.
Yeah. Or you just fly by it and you beam back pictures of the nearest civilizations,
right,
back to Earth. So this thing can do that, and and other technology. In a decade, this thing could be beaming back pictures of a more advanced version with little propellant tanks.
Yeah,
and you can't do that with a chemical rocket.
Yeah,
it's too slow. So, no, it's not very fast on Earth, and it doesn't move the propellant fast on Earth. It only
until you got some sort of like a flying car idea. I don't think.
The
average person's going to be interested in it. Yeah,
there are ways to do it, but I need a lot of money. I mean, I need some money. I can't do everything. With my budget, but I can make the most coolest drone.
Yeah, I think the NASA even said the ion lifter idea may be good in space, but as in a ion plasma engine, which they have been working on. And of course they take up their own gas, like you were saying, and mix it in with ions and create a thrust. But the thing is, you're still taking up a propellant, and you want to get away from that. So you just want to use.
Well, yeah. There's one more thing. In the end of my patent, I mentioned that I did a bunch of calculations with a friend of mine that was a lab instructor, and he also happens to work for NASA. And I calculated in my usual messy logbooks that. If I get the vehicle accelerated, if I use high enough voltages, that the electrons coming out the back of it would reach near, relativistic velocities, and then they behave as if they produce more thrust all of a sudden, right?
Right.
So at that point, when the electrons behave as if they have more mass, then you don't need propellant anymore. You just shoot an electron beam out of the back of the vehicle.
Yeah, so they talked about that in sci-fi books using laser beams.
Right.
Because photons do have like a pressure, don't they? And you can use it to aim a laser at a solar cell sort of thing idea. Or have a beam coming out the back of it even towards... object that's pushed against, like Earth or whatever.
Right. So when you have 5 to 10 million volts of electrons shooting out of the back of it, then it'll produce about 20 grams of thrust continuously, with no propellant added.
Yep.
And it uses electrons as propellant.
Yeah.
So in that case, you go to the stars, real quick, and
Yeah.
It's a small, light, inexpensive way to do it, and you don't have to have,
Yeah.
You don't have to have
I suppose we better wrap up there and move on to other topics today. We've chewed up a bit of time here. Here we go for time.
Thank you for.
Yeah, you can always come on another time if you want to talk about lifters again or new stuff you found.
Yeah, well, the new vehicle I'm building now weighs about half, almost, it's much lighter. Might come in almost half as much or so.
I was just having a look on the other screen. So we've been going 2 hours and 20 minutes at the moment.
Yeah.
So I need to cover some other stuff here on UFO videos and stuff. Yeah, just wrap up for tonight. But yeah, it's been good chatting. I was going to do mind control stuff that's been hitting the web lately, and the new movie that's going to be coming out, where a woman's saying that autistic children are able to read their parents' minds. So I'm just going to go over that.
I had heard about that.
Yeah, it's called the telepathy tapes at the moment, but they're making a movie about it. But yeah, I'm a wee bit skeptical about the science of it, because the parents are in the same room as the kids and they're not actually isolating them. But they're talking about all sorts of stuff on Joe Rogan about it. So yeah, we're just go over that.
They made it sound convincing with the clips I saw, but
yeah, so I'll just play that next and cover that new topic and look at UFO stuff and
well, thank you for having me on. I guess
yeah, that's all right.
Button here for me to sign off.
It's a lot better, sort of face to face, even though I'm not on camera myself, because it takes up more CPU and all that sort of stuff. And I don't need to. It's not about me being on the camera, so I use this little avatar of Alien Grey talking for something instead, because it's less CPU and I don't have to worry about how good I look on camera all the time like all the other people do. But yeah, the idea is we really want most of the screen for demonstrations and looking at the videos and keeping it scientific. Yeah, okay. And you can come on again if you want to later. You can always show up in the side chats and talk about other science bits or stuff or whatever you want to.
It was
or
a pleasure,
even UFOs.
pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Yeah. And this is how we're talking from the middle of USA, is it? Or we're talking about the upper portion of the world to the bottom of the world here. We're near Antarctica, New Zealand.
Where are you?
New Zealand. We're closer to the Antarctic than we are USA. Just put it that way. Wow. Yeah. So
you got to stay warm.
Here it's nice warm. We're getting 30 degrees Celsius days at the moment because we're opposite to USA weather or seasons.
Very warm. Yeah.
So if you go map,
okay. Well,
we'll just bring up a map here and just show you where I am.
Okay.
I was probably going to go to New Zealand here or Christchurch. Christchurch is surrounded, where I am, is surrounded by farms. Okay, so there's New Zealand. And
I'm at the college here,
we keep zooming out.
Music college.
Yeah. Keep zooming out. You'll see we're next to Australia and also Antarctica there. And then you can start to see South America over this way.
View from the aeronaut.
You're way over here, and was it Ohio?
Ohio,
was it?
It's kind of on the top. Well,
yeah, where Secureteam lives actually.
Right
and you're going connecting from there to there, so we're going probably through internet cable to Australia. Then that's probably connecting to satellites, is it? I don't know how they do it anymore, because we've got Elon Musk Starlink now as well.
They probably have all kinds of listening rooms in there. So.
Sometimes we connect to England, which is over here. So it's just amazing. Everybody in the world can now communicate and get the ideas across and show the experiments and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, we better carry on. I'm just going to drop you off now, and
okay.
And you can talk in the side chat still if you want to. Anyone else that wanted to come on could have jumped on into the same room because you're on the free for all. We could have had other side chatters jump in and communicate on the same program as well, in the same room. Because when we go full screen.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I'll just move him out the way. The CPU's not.
I'm gonna click the red hang up now. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. For some reason, I can't click anything on the screen. Why is that? I don't know. Is it a? It's almost like it's got an invisible window happening on us. What's going on here? Another Windows bug. It kind of looks like it. Can't click on anything on that. What the hell's going on? How about now? Are we still streaming okay? Looks like, yeah, I had to Control Delete and then go back into it for some reason. Let me just see if it's all working alright still. Looks like it went black for a second there. Looks like it's all working still. Yeah, that's kind of weird. It's a new bug by the looks of it. Anyway, let's carry on with the other stuff. I was going to try and tack him on the end, but, you know, because of time zones and stuff, when people show up and they want to talk, well, we just do it here. Hey, can't you? Cool, thanks. There's always going to be little niggles going on. But anyway, yeah, we'll just sort out the tabs here again. So he's more of a science physics guy, right? Maybe not everybody was able to follow along, I don't know. Probably should have posted his website when we had it open there. I forgot to post the links to it. Let me see. History. Let's just get his YouTube channel up and again, and just post that, and you can get to most of his, get hold of him that way.
Supply with steering.
Ethan. Okay, I'll just post that to the side so everybody can grab it. Hopefully it's copied alright. Okay, I'll just post it here. So apparently he's the only one that's got a power supply with no tether going to the lifter with remote control. He reckons that other one with the jet engine is a lie. But I don't know. Unless I was there to get up close look at it and to see how noisy it is, because they reckon it's silent. He's saying it's a lie. I don't know. Lifter Ethan, he doesn't like calling it a lifter, he calls it ion propelled. But he needs to come up with his own sort of signature name. Yeah, maybe some of you guys can think of a new name for him and get in contact with him. Maybe call it ion. Can't call it ion propeller. It's too long, isn't it? Ion. You know, what would you mix it with? There we go. Is it working? Yeah. Anyway, you can bookmark that and just follow any new videos he uploads. So yeah, where did we get to? Yeah, we got lots to cover. I might just talk about Secureteam first, and then talk about. I think we might do more than 3 hours today, from the looks of it. But Secureteam put out this video here a couple of days ago, and I just want to talk about that very quickly. Oh, it's very much louder than should be, I think. But anyway, all the volumes are normal here. Just skim past the intro.
Hey, what's up, guys? Tyler.
Already I get the shivers and cringe effect having it. So basically, he's gone to a Reddit post, which I've managed to find. And he's saying this is a picture of a TR-3B triangle craft next to Saturn. And I thought, yeah, right. Does it look like it's a photograph of a craft? And I thought, no, if that is in a camera, it's most likely going to be an internal camera reflection. And the actual object in question might be that circular image here, which is going to be some sort of planet, right? So it could have been a malfunction, it could have been something crazy going on, but apparently this was photographed on the Voyager, and we know recently the Voyager had problems with its equipment and CPU, if you remember right, and it was sending back garbage. So it makes me wonder if the images were garbage too, but he's saying this is in 1980. Let's just go through
Here with Secureteam, and today we've got something pretty intriguing and interesting to talk about. And I haven't seen a lot of news about this, so that made me want to take an even closer.
Okay, so it's got various images of triangle bits, right? Still doesn't look like a three-dimensional object. And it doesn't even look like triangle, but there, does it? That's skew with. Which kind of suggests it might be the edge of a planet. And the rest of this is artifact, where it's cropped it off. But anyway, let's just keep on going.
Closer look. But before we dive into this leaked document that's been making waves on...
Okay, it kind of looks like an aperture already, doesn't it? Looks like maybe a triangle aperture, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like some stars. Maybe a shadow, a planet here. It looks like something strange anyway. It doesn't look like any craft. The actual thing's not a craft. That's my gut feeling. It looks like an internal camera reflection. Anyway, just keep on going.
Online, I want to give a little background, especially for those who may not be familiar with Voyager 1, what it is, and why this matters. So, to preface this, back in 1977, NASA launched 2 spacecraft, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. Their mission was to explore the outer planets of our solar system, capturing data.
Yeah, because it takes many, many years to get to the outer limits, right? In this case, what is it, like 40 years to get to the end of the solar system, and now it's heading out into space.
And images that, at the time, were completely unprecedented. These probes weren't...
So you're talking about 40-year-old camera technology, right? It's not going to be as good as what's in the smartphone nowadays.
Supposed to last this long. They were built for a 5-year mission, but against all odds, they just kept going. Voyager 1 flew past Jupiter and Saturn, giving us some of the most breathtaking images and groundbreaking discoveries in space exploration history. And
you can see it, they've added it in with time-lapse here.
Revealed the violent volcanic surface of Jupiter's moon Io, the mysterious hexagonal...
You can see here a different color of lighting that's happening inside the camera as well.
Storm at Saturn's North Pole,
And why is it bouncing around so
even
much?
confirmed that Titan,
You see, you're getting data transmission errors. That's what's going on.
Saturn's largest moon, has a thick atmosphere, something that sparks.
So we're meant to believe a triangle bit that looks very stationary is actually a craft. Next to Saturn, a little dot zoomed in.
Decades of speculation.
You can see there's a lot of data error going on.
Whether life could exist.
Is there any triangle bits here?
There. But after finishing its tour,
there was a couple bits then. Let's go back. And does that even look like a triangle bit? No, but we can see there's little dots everywhere. Lots of UFOs, and you can guarantee it's something they're using for distance calculations, maybe, and a filter over top.
Tour of the planet.
There you go, look.
Planets, Voyager 1 did something incredible. It kept moving. It became the...
Now we're getting this shadow effects happening. And strange lines happening. So yeah, you can see how there's a triangle shape happening here. See that there? So if that gets overexposed, you can see how a triangle craft could happen. So why is it so cropped off? It looks like a surface of the planet, and it looks like part of a ring here. And the rest of it gets chopped off there for some reason. Maybe because there's not enough light reflecting off it. So I can start to see how he's got the images, right?
The first human man-made object to enter interstellar space, leaving the solar system behind and crossing into the vast, uncharted emptiness beyond. It passed through what's called the heliopause, the invisible boundary where the sun...
So he's really just packing it in here. So, getting to the main
totally
document
anomalous, now. A massive triangular craft in deep...
So he's saying it's a triangle craft. Already I've just been going through his intro there and looking at artifacts. And we can see there could easily be a triangle artifact with the shadow effect and the lighting effect and internal camera. So yeah, straight away I've sort of debunked already just looking at that. But anyway, Reddit post is where he's found this information from, and we got a better quality image of it here. Although I probably haven't got his on HD at the moment. So it's HD there.
Space, and that guy.
But it still doesn't look as good as going to the page itself, right? Look how clear that is compared to it on a video. There's a massive difference, right? Look how yucky that looks. It's not as crystal clear, right? It just shows you how much YouTube downgrades it on video. Did the CIA declassify Voyager 1 encounter with a UFO in deep space back in the 80s? Have anyone else seen this? And it looks like a document here, but we ain't got a link to it. So probably would have to do some searching. So it looks like it's just the first page. Maybe that's all there is, I don't know. But we're looking at the writing here. March 1980. Signed off. And it's probably been cherry picked and faked, right? Anyone could copy paste that from Photoshop, from another document, So yeah, it's probably a faked thing, but it could easily be they're seeing this image here and asking the experts to analyze it, which again, if they talked to me, I would have said it looks like a shadow play, and that triangle bit is probably the corner of that ring, and the other things in front of it probably a moon. So I'd say moon artifact with shading going on. So that's my gut on it. And we could look at what the Reddit is saying here as well. Beyond the orbit of Saturn, I reckon it's not. I think it's just looking at Saturn, and it's just artifact. So they're saying, yeah, could it be so far away from the Earth? 2.7 billion miles. Not too sure where Saturn would be in that range. Again, you'd have to use those calculators and the speed of the craft that we were talking about before, right? There's not too many comments here, you can see. But since Secureteam's been on there, it's probably exploded overnight 1 month ago. This is fake, look up the date. So yeah, a lot of people have been looking at this, but no one's actually looks at it in video analysis like I do. And I'm telling you, it could be original, but just easy to explain what's happening, what we're seeing. And it's what you call a false image due to lighting and camera. And you can see it's not a perfect triangle shape on the edge. It looks like the edge of Saturn. So we could actually go through all the comments, and all of them saying it's fake. Anyway, Secureteam still put up.
Really interesting. So this news all surrounds a Reddit post that began making the rounds online, claiming that the CIA recently declassified a report suggesting that Voyager 1 detected something artificial, a structured craft floating out beyond Saturn's orbit. At first glance, the document looks legit. It has the standard CIA headers, classification markings, and the kind of sterile technical language you'd expect from a government intelligence report. But then, things start to feel a little bit off. Some users on the original Reddit thread pointed out odd phrases.
So, you know, if he's putting this up as odd, fair enough. But yeah, he's only got 150,000 views. He still makes $1,000 from a Reddit post. If you calculate how many ads he could put on this long video, because we've got ads blocking here, we don't get to see them. But he's got a 12-minute video where you can add at least 4 or 5 ads to it. But yeah, he's still making money from it and keeping his Patreon people happy. But yeah, it's garbage. Basically, the whole thing's garbage. So I did a wee bit more searching here. Found some other interesting links. I'll just go full screen here. Reddit. I'll post the Reddit link because he hasn't actually posted it. So I'm going to post it so people can see it on the side. I'll just post it here. Reddit post Secureteam 10 used, so you can actually have a read of it. Is it not going to paste there? I should have gone to the full screen one probably. Let's see, did it work? I'm not sure. Looks like it messed up, did it? Looks like it may be messing up on Rumble. Looks like it's more correct there. But anyway, moving on. I don't think I need to have it open anyway. Just move on to the next bit I found. So I actually did find some searches talking about a similar thing and other images. NASA debunks mysterious triangular UFO. Well, I've actually debunked it already. But yeah, so this is an old post from 2012. So it's already done the rounds, or has it? So I'm just going down here. It's talking about other things mixed in here. Conspiracy theorists have attempted to use publicly available NASA images to prove that space aging must be engaging in elaborate UFO cover-up, and once again they have been fooled by the laws of physics. This time they called attention to a peculiar new image captured by telescope on board NASA's Stereo B. So we're talking about the Sun one there. Comparing for size of planetary objects seen in the telescope. Blah blah blah. So it's not the same thing until we get down to here. Yeah, so lies on the exact opposite side of the image. The scientists wrote at same time as the strange looking feature starts being visible, the very bright planet Venus enters the telescope's camera's field of view. Blah blah blah. Scientists note that Venus and the triangle opposite each other across the middle. So it's very similar to what I was saying about Saturn and the shadow and the triangle bit appearing across the middle of the camera plane. Stay in step as they move. This is not coincidence. The strange looking geometrical object is actually an internal reflection of the planet Venus within the telescope objects. This effect has been seen many times before. So again, I think here with the Voyager camera we're getting the same effect happening. In this optical effect, incoming light reflects back and forth off lenses and mirrors inside the telescope. The shape of the artifact produced by the scattering light, usually triangles and circles of various sizes. So I found that there and I thought, sounds like very similar to what's going on with the Voyager. So I found that article there, although I got no pictures to compare it. I thought, okay, it looks like it's a really old archived and the images have vanished. So but then I found this one here. Saturn's rings will disappear from view off ground-based telescopes in 2025. I thought, oh yeah, that's a very interesting article. Apparently, that as it orbits, it's rotating as well. So the rings are going to be less reflective, right? So you can imagine it's rotating and the rings are gradually getting more in a straight line with the planets, and you're not going to see them in ground-based telescopes, which happens this year. So as it's rotating this way, and we're just going to see like a thin line perhaps, rather than the edge of the rings like this. I don't know if they got an image of it rotating or not. Some YouTube channel, is it? Can we skim along that? Where they're showing it rotating. Probably not. I was hoping they're going to do an animation of it rotating. So, yeah. So, as you can imagine, that's going to happen. So the ring's going to get less visible as well. So going back to this, again, they're talking about camera artifacts, but we couldn't get any images up of the example there. And I think this is the case in point here as well. So yes, this is going to be another bullshit thing from Secureteam on this. And he's talking about
points to an
things.
Unidentified and potentially artificial object, challenging our understanding of space phenomena.
Which is this camera artifacts, right? That's just garbage again.
That kind of look here, and as I was...
And again, it looks like the surface of the planet this side. And... some strangeness happening here, but it kind of looks like a moon there on the ring, and it's somehow been clipped. It's camera internal artifact happening, and shadow play, and moon passing through the field of view here. That's what I think. I was hoping to see, does that even look right there? There's a lot of corruption happening on the image that's being transmitted back. And we got these little dots here, which I don't believe are stars. I think they're just random noise. And I'm pretty sure that does look like inside a camera, doesn't it? Right, it doesn't look right at all, that image here that he's got. Kind of looks like the sensor. Anyway, it's just total garbage again from Secureteam, which is what we expect. More noise there. Again, that one looks different again. It's just total garbage. He's managed to get another page up here though, which was not published on the Reddit at all. So I'm not sure where he's found that.
Video with some UFO footage, but honestly I think this story stands on its own, and I just wanted to make a video surrounding it and hear your thoughts specifically on it, because
you're just after making some quick video, easy to make, of a Reddit post and make some money. It wasn't about bringing truth to ufology or anything in the field. So I just wanted to point that one out. This is just another garbage video from Secureteam. And I suppose we could look at the comments, but it'd probably be a waste of time. So we'll just move on. And move on to the next topic. So Mick West has put up this one here. I suppose we could cover this one very quickly as well before moving on to memory, of autism and all that sort of nonsense. Let's see, how are we going for time? 2.5, coming up to 3 hours. I know people will probably be dropping off. But yeah, more people seem to come on just at the end as I'm going off. So we might just keep it going. And we got 5 on Field watching, 3 on YouTube, which is pretty amazing. And we got 8 likes, so obviously people are going to wait till I'm finished and then replay and watch it back. Probably wait till I do chapters, probably. Yes, thanks for hitting the like there on YouTube anyway. We have to get these other guys liking as much as well. So Mick West has put this out here and he's wrong. There's no reason why I want to talk about it. There's a couple of opinions to explain this video. At 9 PM, a super bright, anomalous craft performed physics and defying maneuvers over Manchester Airport for an hour, but no one noticed except for one guy in Warrington 12 miles away. Or it's something like spider silk or a bit of fishing line illuminated by lights of the recycling centre behind the fence. So let's just play the video and I'll give you my opinion. Play it a couple of times probably. Now, is it Manchester, USA? Or Manchester, UK? Manchester Airport. Is he talking about UK here? Or is he talking about America? It's talking about UK here, by the looks of it. Manchester Airport, UK. Okay, so we've got to make sure we got the right location. Because that does change things. So if looking at a little dot of light here in the distance, which could be anything like an insect, moth, butterfly flapping around, reflecting off the lights here. But I see here there was something on the edge before he zooms in. Does it look like an insect flapping wings here? Kind of does, doesn't it? It kind of looks like an insect rather than a drone. Or we got all these lights, floodlights here. Is it simply a moth? A small object? Or something in the distance? And then we know insects can do these crazy maneuvers opposed to thing here. So we got these light sources also going to cause lens flare. But was it a lens flare that we were seeing before he zoomed? So let's just have a look. Okay, so is this lens flare here? Or is it another insect? We got a lot of light sources. Okay, I think that's lens flare from these. Okay, so I thought maybe that was an insect as well. So I may be wrong. It looks like it might be lens flare and he's zooming in. Okay, is this lens simply lens flare and he's moving the camera around? It's very hard to tell, isn't it? He's saying there's a bit of spider web close to the camera. But is it really simply a lens flare? Because we can see it here at the start. See that there? So, yeah. I don't know if it's anything to do with 9 PM of someone flying a drone around, that's what he was saying. And because it's cropped off now, we don't know if it's a lens flare and he's just moving the camera around. So I'm very skeptical here. And that is not actually an object but lens flare. You see here. It could be an insect as well. Yeah, so what did Mick West say? The guy's posting here erratic UAP uncut footage. Filmed on a spud cam. And then he said, Mick West, what do you think? And Mick West has posted so one, could it be some super bright anomalous craft that nobody noticed except for one guy? No. Number one is probably no. Is it something like a spider silk or bit of fishing line illuminated by lights of the recycling centre behind the fence? I don't think it's either of those. I think it's just something a wee bit more simpler. And now the light source is over here. I don't think you need a spider web to do this. And you can't even see anything without zooming in, right? He's saying there's a bit of a spider web there. But I see we can see the fence line here. So we've still got a reference point. A fence line. So is he moving the camera on an angle? Lens flare. And we're simply filming a moth reflecting in the lights. It's really hard to see, isn't it? I think it's some sort of bug. Bug going here, and it's just going around and it's being caught by the floodlights. Anyway, it's just a garbage video. I think Mick West is possibly wrong about the silk, spiderweb silk. I think it's just a bug flying around in the spotlights myself. It's just garbage. So yeah, just thought we'd have a look at that one. And we got lots of video links here that we're going to look at. UFO Man's put up a few garbage ones here, but they can be looked at any time. And we also got third phase, I think. Garbage. You got UFO Man, third phase, and then we got this one here. So we'll look at the mind control stuff now. We got more people watching now over here. It's getting a bit late, I guess, for a few people. What is the time? It's 2:30 p.m. here. Yeah, so they put up this video here from Telepathic Tapes here of a documentary they're working on, and I'll just play it under fair use and comment on it. And we go back to UFO stuff.
I can hear thoughts. And I said,
so the autistic kid said to the parent that he can hear thoughts.
impossible. And he said to me, you don't get the kind of gifts that I have if you lie.
Let's please multiply.
Okay, so this is a little demonstration they put together of looks like an Indian woman punching up numbers on a calculator. Now, to me, this could be a trick. Could be getting clues quite easily if they're in the same room. So me as a skeptic scientific person, she's punching up two numbers and calculating it, right?
Apply two numbers and see if he gets it.
What's come up here? Error message. Hang on. Error message with YouTube. Is it still working? Just make sure it is. Yes. Oh, my sugar levels are getting low too. I might have a sip of drink. So we're just analysing this video clip here of the promo of the movie they're making. I'll just have to sip on some sugary cola. Oh damn. Diabetes is a pain. That will help for a minute, I think.
Okay, what is it? 9.
Okay, so what's she out on the screen there? It's not really well made promo. So she's calculated two numbers and 900's popped up, right?
Okay, what is it?
9 0 0.
Unbelievable.
So someone's underneath a blanket here. And I think it might be this guy. I'm not sure if that's the guy or not. Or the dad.
0.
Unbelievable.
So they're saying that somehow he's reading the mind of the person looking at the screen.
What is it?
9 0 0.
Unbelievable.
And he can't talk, and he's using a talking device. Now this is another guy, kid, and the mother, and she's turning over a card behind his back. Now we know Uri Geller did tricks like this too, and also cold readers. So I'm really skeptical of what's going on here. Okay, she's turned around.
1.
1 is what he's just said, is it?
Maybe shuffle again, Dr. Powell. Oh.
Okay. And who's this? The researcher? I don't know.
Plus 2.
So he got the plus.
Plus 2. And yeah, again, we know that can be done quite easily with sleight of hand and stuff.
I was wondering, because I was looking at the two the whole time and I saw his hand going somewhere else.
What is this phenomena happening?
So I'm just going back on this video a few times. So you could easily see a reflection on also on the tablet, right? So I'm really skeptical of this video.
So he got the plus too.
I was wondering, because I was looking at the two the whole time and I saw his hand going somewhere else.
What is this phenomena happening? Why are his mind and my mind completely connected?
Are they though? So it's not like he's going into her mind and she's getting images. So it's only working one direction is what they're saying there. And I'm saying, yeah, it needs to be. It's not really convincing, guys. Separate rooms. And if I can repeat that, then maybe.
I knew that a lot of people would think, boy, Diane's gone off the deep end. But that's the risk any scientist.
So apparently this woman's lost her qualifications because they revoked it. Because of her experimentation here with claiming that autistic kids can read memory. But anyway, she's been on Joe Rogan.
Takes when they challenge the current paradigm.
Joining us today to shed some light, Dr. Diane Powell.
I'm working with...
And of course they revoked her doctorness. So she's gone into the deep end. Diffusion tension.
Children who have been reported by a parent to be able to read their mind. The data was so compelling and accurate that I had to follow it, even though I knew I was risking my scientific reputation. I started testing them and I found that they were exceedingly accurate.
I have to pause this every so often because of music.
What is the next number? 3.
After the medical board took my license away, I had to prove my sanity.
I'm not surprised they did so far. I don't know what you guys are thinking out there.
Once I did, I said, I'm going to prove that ESP is real.
Dr. Tarrant, he's done...
And of course, a lot of people have been doing this for a long time with Hal Puthoff and Yuri Geller. Bending spoons. This is where you need someone like me, like in the form of that guy. What was his name? The great Randy, right? He was also a gay man, married to another gay man, and of course a lot of what do you call it, politics and the gay man turned out to be a legal alien and had all sorts of things. Then he got exported out of the country, and of course all sorts of chaos with the great Randy guy. But he was a really skeptical mind and used to meet up with scientists like Richard Feynman. And he was a really short guy, and he ended up with back problems, and he was like a illusionist that could get inside boxes because he was a very bendy guy in his time, but obviously caused back problems in the end. And if you follow the great Randy, but he's the kind of guy that was able to trick people, and he set up this $1 million fund to prove psychics were liars, and he offered them this $1 million if they could prove to him beyond doubt that they had special powers or superhuman powers, that they could win the money. So he is the kind of guy that would be ideal for this, pulling this apart. But anyway, that's losing sight of what we're on here.
These QEEG scans to see what's going on.
The biggest overall find.
See, I can see there's a lot of problems with the control setup on this. This is where you need the great Randy thinker.
Finding is really this increase of activation across all the brain waves. If there was no change, I would definitely be skeptical.
If you can show...
And this reminds me again of Chris Bledsoe experiment where they're doing it on TV with these kind of skull caps saying that he had special powers to summon UFOs. And I'm calling bullshit on this sort of stuff. So I put this out to Earl Grey. And he worked with autistic children and disabled kids. And I said, what did he think of this? And Earl come back saying, yes. There was a situation that happened where he took an autistic kid to get examined by a surgeon or doctor. And something happened where he's claimed that the autistic kid controlled this doctor and made the doctor believe that the kid was actually inside his head, making him speak these words. And he said, did you see that? And Earl Grey was there, and he said, yeah, that was really strange. So he kind of believes that some autistic kids or people can control other people. And I'm really skeptical myself, unless I could see that actually happening. But Earl seems to believe, he's a SoulCal MUFON director that has boots on ground for UFO encounters and experiences. And he was also a nurse that worked with disabled kids and autism and stuff. So he said, yes, he's seen it firsthand. So I thought, okay, maybe we shouldn't be so skeptical here. And I also sent it out to Robert Farmer, and he replied back and said it's bullshit. You know how skeptical Robert Farmer is, and he's also a UFO researcher. So between me, Earl Grey, and Robert, I was more in the middle and said, yes, it's possible because I've had experiences myself. And I talked about where I went along to the science fair where they had PK cards. You know, the wavy lines, circles, triangles, and squares. And this friend of mine also was born on the same birthday as me. He just picked up the cards and started looking at them, and I started reading out what they were. And he kept putting them down after I said triangle, wavy line. And I said to him, I'm not getting a single one correct, am I? I said, there must be another pole that we can produce here. So I kept on going, and he kept putting the cards down on the same pole. And then suddenly I said, oh, finally we got one that's wrong, or right. And he started putting down some cards on the other pole. Because I was like a skeptic, right? And he said, no, that big pole is all the ones you got correct. And I said, that's impossible. I said, let's do it again. And again I started creating a pile of cards. And I said, okay, which ones are wrong? And he said, those few over there. And people kept going by and looking at us, and they kept looking at me, and they kept looking at the cards and thinking, is he seeing through the cards? And after that day happened, I thought, wow, this is amazing. We need to investigate this further. And that's where I got interested in the age of like 15, 17, 16, 17. And I had to get my own cards. And I couldn't duplicate it with anybody. And I had to get this guy around to my house to use my cards and see if we could duplicate it. And we couldn't duplicate the same effect that we had that day with this stand that we sat down at and started using their cards. So I couldn't understand it. So to me, it was like maybe pure chance that it happened that day. But we couldn't replicate it ever. And then I started getting these magazines that talked about PK and the cards, and I thought, yeah, well, these people are claiming that it's real. That broke the pure chance aspect of it, where it's slightly higher than 50-50. So, I don't know what you guys think out there on this, but to me, I'm really skeptical still. And I know that people can create sleight of hand. So, but I know that I've had, especially with Earl Grey and other people, where we type the same things online or same email and send it, and then get back an email where it's talking about exactly the same things. I've had it happen with Robert as well, and a few other people. And I always thought, well, spooky action at a distance, Einstein, and talking about quantum theory, that it's possible. Maybe this woman has found again that it's happening. And so I'm always on the border thing here. But looking at this video, it kind of looks like a wee bit bullshitty. And maybe I can see why people are very skeptical about it.
A consistent pattern, particularly from kid to kid. That's how science changes. You cannot fake this.
We want answers, like where does it comes from?
I want to know how and what am I supposed to do?
We can't all be crazy.
We are far more powerful than we can imagine, and the implications are huge for human.
Could it be that kids are so used to the appearance of picking up cues from other things? Being autistic kids. Anyway, she went on Joe Rogan.
Humanity and the planet.
And she started talking about... I'll post a link to this, and you guys can fill it up if you want to. But yeah, you'll wait till the movie comes out. Maybe we can have a look at the movie. And then we could play it together, and maybe break it down like we do with TV shows. Yeah, and the tapes. The telepathic tapes. It's possible that some people, and you talk about mediums and psychics have abilities. And maybe some people out there do have these brain cells that somehow work a bit different to ours, and they can actually pick up things. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see if that worked alright. Looks like it posted okay. But yeah, if we go to their main page here, which is really pink. I hate pink, I really do. Pink's not my favourite colour. And these videos are all like tapes, cassette tapes where you listen to, where they're talking about the experiments and stuff, and interviewing people, which is a terrible way to do things. If you got a YouTube channel, you should be doing it like we do with live streams. So this woman, this scientist, didn't know how to do any of that. And so she's got some people working with her that are filming her and trying to document it. Which is good. A good thing. But you can see here, there's nothing really much on the homepage. And we go videos. It's only these videos now where she's got promos and people working with her uploading it to her channel. 7 months ago, 2 months ago, so still hasn't added any videos. And really you need to see the video of the experiments happening in real time. I don't think any of them have video.
When I put out the telepathy tapes in 2020,
I think it's just all talking. Yeah. I've clicked on a few of them. To me, I don't like that. I need to see the experiments being done.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai Dickens, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to the Talk Tracks. In this series, we dive deeper into the revelations, challenges, and...
Yeah, it's not the best. Apart from that one with videos, yeah, and still that's not the best either. But yeah, Joe Rogan, if we search the person's name or whatever, did actually interview her, but still we didn't see any videos of experiments. Joe Rogan, telepathy. Let's see what comes up. There may be some clips we can play because he's on Spotify now, isn't he? So here's the woman here. So it's Joe Rogan Experience #2279. KY Dickens, that's the person's name, is it? Yeah, so there's quite a lot of videos. Duncan Trussell 2 months ago. Is that the same woman? Yeah, it looks like it. Look at this clown. Yeah, I think I'm gonna believe this guy. Duncan Trussell, yeah. Hippie, spaced out guy. My mum hypnotized me. What are they wearing? Yeah, it's kind of makes it a bit hard to believe, doesn't it? Telepathy is real. But Joe Rogan really believes it, eh? So he's done a few episodes on it over the years, and there you go. Telepathic tapes 2 months ago. Harvard scientist. So is that a clip? Let's just see.
So I'm gonna give you a number.
We'd blindfold and then show
Okay, I got some video here. So let's have
her mother a random number generator, a random picture generator.
The kid will say, "I'm reading your mind," and then they do it.
Okay, let's
A
have to
few
be
little
careful
experiments.
here.
We did various tests.
I think Joe Rogan is pretty extreme on copyright.
And she was right every time.
Yeah, but I see they're in the same room still.
Their kids can see things that they simply can't.
Her answer is
Okay, this looks like it's from a movie they're developing, doesn't it?
100% accurate.
What is the second number?
6! Oh my god!
We think of as woo-woo or this airy-fairy stuff, but it's true.
Autistic individuals
I've seen that one.
have these incredible abilities.
The science behind this, this is so much bigger than our knee-jerk reactions of truth.
We have everyone on the crew. Just come and write a word down, okay?
Yeah. I just don't like it when they're not in a separate room.
Yeah.
Ha.
Well, how come we didn't see that on the talking episodes, you know?
Ha. Fa. Fa. Fa.
What's he doing?
You've just done
Fucking
an
out
amazing
letters.
job of documenting these autistic, in many cases, nonverbal children.
So she's on this other guy that's not Joe Rogan.
Who display telepathic powers, which I can't believe I'm even saying, but you show that this is
occurring
Yeah.
in statistically significant ways.
Hey, what picture am I looking at now? Okay, press you. Say it.
Son.
So they might just be very good at reading facial cues, right? Like body
Okay, what is
language.
this?
What's that? Yeah.
You see, I'm not even looking at him. Yeah.
You have a Harvard-trained neuroscientist, Dr. Diane Powell, who is doing the studies, but you also, seem eminent.
Bloody music. I hate music.
Here. So how does one go from a tradition?
So what's this one? So it's documentary here. So is that the full documentary? If that's the case, we need to watch it later and get back to you on another episode, I think. So let's just copy that. Maybe it has come out. I don't know. It's a pretty crappy movie if that's the case. Kind of looks like a podcast to me. Telepathy. Tips. Now everybody watch that and get back to me. Let's do a follow-up show on it, I think. Need some scientific minds. There's skeptical minds out there. And even some believers would help, I think. Who we got on there? Only 3 of you will probably know about it. No, for 13. So yeah, do spread it around and see if we can get some answers here.
2.
Looks like it's got a copyright right through the middle here, so that's not a good thing. So maybe this is a movie mixed in with some podcaster, is it? I don't know. It looks kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Anyway, we're trying to find the Joe Rogan. Now on Joe Rogan, it got even a bit more crazier. There's a 2-minute clip. It's not here. That's not here. Oh, here we go. But again, that's not Joe Rogan. Multiple universes. Let's get into my thing. Oh, this fraud. He got that fraud on, is he? What a loser. I mean, Telepathy encounter. That guy's a mental. Who else he got? Not sure who that is. But it looks like some guy believes that fake video of alien is correct. That's what we looked at first. So it says study this. Nope. So yeah, I don't know. Where's the full interview with the woman? It should be here. It may have got removed today. Oh, that might be it here. 2 hours long. Must be that one. Let me just go there. I know I have watched it.
So maybe it helps a little bit. Maybe. I mean,
anyway, on this interview here, probably shouldn't play it though. Maybe I'll just post a link to it. I'll just summarize what I heard, what I watched on it. Basically, she was saying that a lot of these autistic kids talked about going to the hill Now, in their mind, they travel, I don't know if it's out of body or mind linking or spooky action at a distance, but they go to this hill, which they claim is like, has some sort of, I suppose, a hill. They see visually a hill with a door where it's fenced off, where everybody on the autism mind control thing can go and talk to each other. And at the door is like a doorsman that allows them in and keeps everybody else out that's not said to be a nice person. So if you're a bad person, they won't let you into the hill. Only people with angel-like feelings can get into there, and they can interact with all these other autistic people. It says here somewhere, maybe you can search it. I'll just bring it up. I'll just post the Joe Rogan experience. Rogan interview. Have a listen to that and see what you think. There's a lot of watching time you need. And the telepathic tapes. Paffy. Let's see. Can we bring up the transcripts where they're talking about the hill bit? Maybe I can just play clips of it without getting copyright nonsense. Dickens. K. Dickens. And that's actually a name. K-Y. What's he got? Gambling problem there? Oh, right, he mentions gambling in it. His mate had a gambling addiction. Right. Transcript. Here we go. Let's see if we can find the part on it. Control F. Where is it? Alright, here. The hill. I'll actually just type hill. 36 references. That's quite a lot. Here we go. What the things they talk about. Okay, 1 hour, 20 minutes in. I'll just be careful playing this, of course.
What things that they talk about look like the chat on the hill. I don't know if you've heard of this telepathic chat room where non-speakers hang out. We can come back to that. And like the realms where maybe they get information. So, or just even what it means to see auras or to see stuff like that. So we have 2 graphics advisors that will be working with the graphics house on that stuff. We have a scientific advisor who's going to help us figure out how to best do the telepathy tapes with the scientists.
Okay, I need to get on a bit. What things they talk about on the hill. Just cool having on our what is this chat on the hill. Looks like it's all in the same area. I just don't want to play too much of it just because paranoid. Because I think that's an interesting thing. Okay, let's just skip that ahead a wee bit.
Because I think that's an interesting thing. So Houston started talking about this, what he calls the talk on the hill, which is this telepathic chat room. And then I met his good friend John Paul, who's also kind of based in Atlanta. And John Paul would go up to his room and put 4 pillows on his head. And his mom was like, he's on the hill. And this is what he does.
I'll just pause it every few seconds.
kind of get everything out, all the sounds of the house, so we can really concentrate and get there. And, you know, she said he really has like developed a beautiful relationship with his girlfriend on the hill. And I'm like, what?
Okay, they're on the hill. Not on the pill, on the hill. And his girlfriend, I'm not sure, is another autistic person. Meets him on the hill in the mind. Sounds almost like the Matrix.
So I didn't know what to make of it, only I knew that it felt very real to these parents and these individuals, and people were talking about it in Atlanta. So I thought, okay, this might be an Atlanta thing, that these individuals are doing this. They don't have to be in the same room, the same zip code, that they can like connect. And on the day I met John Paul, he was on the hill at one point. And I asked that question. I said, well, how many people are on the hill right now? And I think he wrote like 4,000 something. And I was like, holy cow, it seems...
4,000 out of 8 billion in the world. So how did they know about meeting on the hill?
It's like a lot. And he's like, well, people are really excited about the documentary right now. So everyone's tuning in to find out like what's happening with this. So I was like, whoa.
Joe Rogan, what? Yeah, same as us, mate.
and then I just like buried that in my heart as okay, this is something that is real in Atlanta. And then I was talking to like the next big whoa. Again, telepathy tapes was not out yet. I met a minister in Arizona who had.
All right, pause it.
Like the largest youth, like special needs youth ministry or something. And I was on Zoom with him because he was like, found out about the telepathy and found out about these gifts. And there was a person in his congregation who could predict the future and see things happening in other spaces in the world. And he was just...
Now we're getting into the deep end stuff, not only just meeting on the hill, that's projecting into the future, or predicting the future.
You know, I think we were connecting to be like, okay, yeah, you've seen this? Okay, let's talk about this. And he was kind of going through his list of what he's witnessed with the individuals in his ministry. And one of the things he said to me was, I was on Zoom the other day with another young individual, another individual from Minnesota, getting these two to connect. And they started talking about something called the Hill. They go to this place called the Hill. Have you ever heard about this? And I almost...
Okay. I can see we're going to have a problem with copyright. Despite that we're actually... under fair use here, for sure.
Fell out of my chair. And then maybe like a few months after that, I was talking to a teacher, and she goes, you know, some of my students, have you ever heard about this? They talk about going to some place called the Hill. And one of them says he goes there to learn about time travel, and the other one likes to talk about someone from Norway who talks about the bees and beekeeping and bee stuff. And at that point, I mean, my head is exploding. Just like, wait, it's like real? Like... Gee.
Yeah, so again, we've talked about stuff like this over the years, right? And multiverse. I don't think time travel is real. Unless you're talking about multiverse, where each of the universes are at different timelines. And that would make more sense. That maybe they're connected in not with the individuals on Earth, but maybe individuals they think are the same, but in another multiverse. But yeah, spooky action at a distance. What do you reckon? What's your thoughts out there on it? Has anyone experienced that? Maybe someone can explain it better than this woman can. So it needs to be like, I can understand what she is interested in scientifically, wants to figure it out. But this is going into like, are we in a matrix? Are we a simulation? But I don't know, it's kind of weird.
You know, and then there's a father in Israel who I have talked to a lot about this over the years, and he's kept really good track too of like how telepathy's been buried in the spelling community and in the education community and what's been going on and how teachers were getting fired. So he's fascinating. But one of the things he told me, he's like, oh yeah, we have a separate hill in Israel where a lot of the Orthodox like Jewish folks go, and they have their own hill. And then I would get some emails and be like, there's also a hill in Arizona and Florida. Like, there's different hills. So it's a mystery.
So anyone else there have dreams about being on a hill? Not me, but yeah. Some of my dreams do feel like very real and real people. Could it be that when we're in a dream state that we're connecting up with each other and who else is in dream states and not American states, but dream states. And maybe that's why it's so real, that we're actually interfacing with other people around the world, and it feels like it's really happening. Is there a sixth hill where we have 6 dreams and we end up in the 6th hill? Who else has had 6 dreams? I've had 6 dreams where it's really crazy. But other people must experience it too. But yeah, dreams can seem to be really realistic, can't they? And they're full colour as well. The world is stranger than we can think of, maybe.
It's a magical mystery. But
they all call it the same thing?
Yeah, and I don't... And then I've also met, like, after the telepathy tapes came out, one family wrote me and said, hey, my son has said he has telepathy, no doubt there, but he can only do it with people in the room, but he's never been to the hill. How does he get to the hill? And I thought, I don't know, I guess ask another non-speaker who maybe can teach you how to, like, dial into the right frequency. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it's really, it's awesome,
Now...
Yeah, see, Rogan's really into this. You can see all the episodes he's had with people talking about telepath.
Is there one hill or is there many hills?
I think there's...
Well, she just said there's many. So...
There's a few hills.
And how...
Wasn't he listening? She said that just before. There's one for certain religions, so if you're Islamic, you go to the Islamic hill. Christian hill. Jew hill.
Have they verified that people who are communicating in this hill are actually communicating with these individuals?
Yeah.
So, is there an alien hill?
And in fact, that's one of the storylines in the film that I'm really excited about. Like, one of the subjects is a young girl who's always felt pretty isolated. It's hard.
Yes, so maybe you should leave it there, but it sort of gives you an idea, doesn't it? I'm not sure if there's anything else interesting.
Top and put it on the bottom so that...
let's type in teachers. See if any reference comes up with teacher 34. I think the teachers that have been witnessing, like said, for witnesses in a chat room and in their homes for decades. Well, how come we're just hearing about it now then? Spiritual gifts, and then parents teach teachers often aren't believed. These individuals and their parents and teachers were claiming they could read minds, and as I said, meeting more and more of these families, and again. Okay, so let's just click it there. It's at the beginning somewhere.
These individuals and their parents and teachers are claiming they could read minds. And as I start meeting more and more and more of these families, and again, like I said, teachers, it's not limited to just families, one thing that they started telling me was telepathy is the tip of the iceberg. And I didn't know what that meant. What do you mean telepathy is the tip of the iceberg? And it's true, because I think whether...
So, yes, we need to definitely see the full movie. Doesn't look like it's out yet. That looks like the other link was a podcast talking about clips from the movie.
or not its ability to see disease or illness in someone and be able to diagnose it before this person knows that there's something wrong. Reading an aura and, you know, saying that they can see a color around.
There should be a way to prove this beyond doubt. Is there any autistic people that have it? I don't know.
Not just animals and humans, but plants.
It's like dogs can read your mind too, isn't it? Or, I don't know, there's certainly a sixth sense there.
Being able to speak multiple languages, even though you haven't been taught them, or playing instruments and knowing music, or being able to access almost any song and having perfect pitch. Being able.
So yeah, this delves into past lives, doesn't it? Maybe it's not past lives, but you're actually delving into other people's minds. But then again, they're talking about people that lived thousands of years ago when you talk about reincarnation. Is there some sort of ether where, you know, I've talked about this, where information is stored in atoms itself, and somehow people are tapping into those atoms and retrieving information, because maybe it becomes part of the body because you absorb it through drinking and eating, and somehow it ends up as part of a neuron atom in the brain that somehow you can access the information in it finally. Maybe some people have that ability, or maybe they're just lucky to have the atom in their brain and it changes their whole world view, right? But anyway, I think we'll probably have to leave it there. It is getting on a bit, this episode today. But yeah, see what you think. Come back to me and we can just talk about it more. Go forth and multiply. Giving you links there. And this other stuff, I think I'll push it on to next time. But I think we've done a good job today. Yeah, it'd be good if you want to come on side chat and talk about telepathy next time. Go and have a watch of that stuff anyway. Anyone on Pilled, Rumble can join us in on the voice. That's what we did with the guy today on YouTube. Let's have a discussion about it, maybe. But yeah, I can't force anyone to come on. It's just me do all the talking, as usual. But I'm going to wrap it up there, guys, because I need to maybe get a drink and eat now. But yeah, do hit a like if you liked it today, and do say hi. We need more people to get into the side chat things. I'm pretty sure it works from Rumble and Pilled. We had a few people join, use the side chat. I'm not sure if they know how to get to the side chat, but sometimes maybe you have to click on a link to open it, maybe. But it's there. Or the links. Okay, so yeah. Also, we got more viewers on now on Rumble. But yes, guys, are going to start talking. We got up to 17. But I need to have a break now myself. It's been a fairly good show today, I think. A lot of technical stuff there. A lot of theory and stuff to think about. So I'm going to wrap it up there, and I think a few people fell asleep, like Michael, as usual. Where's the thing that winds it down? Here we go. So I'll say good night, and thank you for those that joined us. And hit the like button and share it, and we'll come back next live show. Good night, everybody. Hopefully you didn't get a copyright strike or whatever. Never know. I think everything I do is fair use though, and people get a lot of advertising from it. But there's a lot of haters out there, as you know, and there's a lot of greed out there. We did get some donations from Michael King again, no one else. Another £10 all up, I think. Thanks, Mike. Keep working and keep funding the channel because we need people like you. Because I don't work and I have to survive on what I get through handouts, basically. I've become a beggar where I used to be a big earner once, myself. Look, better end this. Gonna run out otherwise.